Big up, big up, big up, and welcome to Liberal 12 Man Show. I am here solo today, but hopefully I'll have Stum Reds joining me shortly. But if not, I hope that you will be there for me in the chat or possibly even in the review or preview or however you want to look at it. Actually, as I speak, we have Lee in the house, so let me bring in Lee as well. Big up, Lee.
How are you doing? Evening, everybody, or day. Good day to you in Arizona.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's been a very, very interesting Thursday. A lot of the news hasn't been crazy, I should say, because there hasn't been that much news out there. The same old with the talk about contracts, the talk about possible players that could be coveted by Liverpool in the January window.
We haven't needed any news, have we? We haven't needed any news. We haven't needed any news since the other night.
Exactly.
All the news we needed was in that result.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I'm looking at it. Because what's crazy about it is I call it, and I made a little crest word and everything. It's something that we talk about often, backstage and in the group forums and the likes about Scapegoat FC. And it's so funny how quickly people just vanish, Houdini like, when it comes to the performances by some of these players that have just overachieved or overexceeded their expectations, I should say. Not overachieved, but definitely overexceeded their expectations. And it's gotten to the point where, what's his name? Cundy, right? Isn't his name? I forget his first name. But
Jason Cundy.
Jason Cundy, yeah. It got to the point where I saw a clip where he was like, he gets aggravated even hearing "You'll Never Walk Alone" now. He was on Talk Sport and he's like taking his headphones off, and then he didn't want to hear it, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, the song's over," and he puts it back on and it's still playing, and he's like, throws it back down.
Yeah, to get a 4-0 win, there against that side, that's no mean feat. I mean, they haven't been beat much in over a year, hardly at all if they lost a match. So for us to beat them 4-0, they're a very good side. It reminded me just what a special club we are in Europe, as if I needed any reminding, you know what I mean? There's something about Anfield. I knew at 2-0 that there was another goal in it for sure. I felt there was a third, but I didn't think we'd get a fourth. You know what I mean?
I mean, we've spoken about the fact that we scored a lot of goals, but we have had very few hat tricks. I don't think many people had that on their bingo card.
No.
We've seen some fantastic headers, some fantastic header goals, but it's been a minute since we've seen a fully a flying header, the way that took flight to get a head on that. And
I could see that was onside initially before the check. You could see that was onside. I know it was close in the end, but I could see that and it ruined it slightly that we had to wait around and that, but it was just such a beautiful goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It put us in such a position, didn't it? That second goal just put us in a great position.
Absolutely, it did put us into a huge advantage going into the momentum meter, but it also put to bed, I think, it put to bed the whole we haven't played anyone yet. The whole we haven't played anyone yet scenario needs to do what Trent is saying needs to be said about that whole
recent form in all the major European leagues. Who's in better form than Bayer Leverkusen? So we must have played someone.
Yeah,
They're very
you would
much an
think.
informed team, even if like it is a new season and there's a bit of a hangover from winning the Bundesliga. There's still a really, really good side, a really talented side.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, Hincape, you know, or Jonathan Tah, who was rumored to be going to Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
Those are all good defenders. It's not like they're going against like just like your average day defenders. Big up, Crab. Rasta Crab in the house. Big up, big up.
really like both players, Jonathan Tah and Hincapi. I think they're both good players.
Yeah, yeah. And also, we'll get back to the wax lyrical about the game and about the Champions League. So I have a bunch of stuff that I did want to talk about, but since we have the streets in the chat, I wanted to bring up. So there is talks about that Robbo is in talks right now, possibly for a new deal or extension to his current contract. I'd love to hear what the streets has to say about that. If you can tell if you're all for it, or do you think that have you been swayed by the undercurrent of those out there that think that Robbo's time has come and passed, and we need to. I mean, there's those that don't think that even they think that Tsimikas is, I don't want to misquote him because I know that the way he puts it is always so elegant and it's always well stated. So I want to make sure that I don't misquote it. But like that Tsimikas's level is good, but because he's playing to the level that we because it's a recurring theme of being able to see him play. There's those of us that have been saying, hey, he's great, he's this, he's that, he deserves to start. I
want him to play less games, but that's not the same thing as wanting us to replace him. Full stop. I'd like to see him reduce. I'd like him to have another number two, maybe a better number two, like who's more, so there's not much of a drop off between him and the number two. And I do like the look of Kerkez. It'd be a good one for Szoboszlai as well to have a Hungarian countryman, wouldn't it, in the squad? It always helps players, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wherever they're from.
And it also means something it's wild because we do have a young promising left center back from the youth academy. We do have also obviously Tsimikas that can perform certain aspects of the game, maybe even on a little bit of a higher level currently than Robbo has been. But again, it could be also because of the rigorous amount of games that Robbo is playing. He is the captain of the Scotland team, so and Tsimikas, I think Tsimikas has been the captain of Greece, by the way, once or twice as well.
Yeah.
I think he has been.
Want to move on for his career, given the age he is now, Kostas. He might want to move on for his career to play more often. We just don't know, do we?
Right.
It wouldn't shock me if we heard he was getting a new deal as well as Robbo.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. And it could be a case of with the number of players that we have seen, again with the youth academy players, but also with the sheer fact that left back is not, when you look at it through a world perspective, and you could even expand it to the world. You don't have to keep it to Europe. You can expand it to the world. Left back is not an extremely deep position to pick from when it comes to the number of players that you can choose from to say are top world class, if not top level players. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I feel like we're not as strong defensively when Robbo's out the side with Tsimikas, but Tsimikas has got, good things to his game. I think it might be best if we had a second number two now, one who could play more games than what Tsimikas has been used to playing. Because in many ways, we've never really seen that much of him. That's how much Klopp picked Robbo, who's just in the team week in, week out, wasn't he? There was hardly a look in for Tsimikas. There's a couple of standout moments, the penalty at Wembley and all that jazz, but he never got much of a run, did he? Beyond what 2-3 weeks that I can recall of, maybe a month at the most.
Yeah, Irishman. I don't have my phone next to me. I just put it in the chat just in case. That's no reason why I haven't been able to WhatsApp it to anyone just yet. I can send it through Twitter, by the way, if that's possible. If I did put the link in the chat, I'm going to keep it there for a little while. If you can use that. But
Kirkaz is a much younger player, but with
second,
experience, isn't he? Like Kirkaz is fairly young, but he has got quite a bit of experience now. At least a couple of seasons anyway, Premier League football. And he is much younger. He's significantly younger than Tsimikas or Robbo.
Could be. I mean, like, look, that's a good shout. This the Milos Kirkaz is a good player. He is a good player. Is he at a level better than Robbo? I don't think so.
Do
I think he's a good player? Absolutely. I rate him as a player. But do I think he's better than Robbo? No.
To find out if we had both of them, like, to see, like, whose level was best, like, and who was plainly the better player for me.
Do you rate this player? And I'll ask Crab and I'll ask those in the chat too. Do you rate this player higher than Tsimikas? Would he be possibly a better number 2 at the left back than Tsimikas? If not, a number 1 then?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good swap. In the long term, he'd be the left back, like, but in the short term, he'd play more games as a number 2, put it that way. I'd have him playing more games. Because Robbo, like, he's got his international career. Robbo's a massive player for Scotland, you know what I mean? He's a big fish, like, in a small international pond there, like, for big. Like, he's at a big club. Not many of his teammates are at big clubs. You know what I mean? So, he's got to play for Scotland, like, and, I don't begrudge him, but it is, that combined with the way Klopp played for the last, like, 7 years, you know what I mean? It's took a lot out of the lads, haven't it?
And I do mean, like, and I get what Crab is saying. He's saying yes, but I do get what Crab is saying is that he's only 20. He can be better than Robbo in the future. I mean, that is definitely a lot of praise and I don't even know the words to put to it, because I mean, we're talking about Robbo, who until recently, when Trent got that assist recently, was the assist leading fullback in the Premier League.
Yeah, we forget that sometimes, don't we?
I think people do.
Outraged number of assists he's been responsible for over the years.
And considering that, like, when you say that, everyone puts high praise, and I'm going to say this with just with a measured approach, at least, because Trent is right behind me, so I don't want him to get angry. But everyone puts such high praise on Trent, and this loud for me to, like, hear out my thought. Everyone puts such high praise on Trent, and rightfully so, by the way, about his offense. Oh, he's so great going forward, but defensively, he's a liability. That's what people put out there. Okay, I don't, but others do. Now, you go to the other side of the pitch. Primarily, when people talk about Robbo, they talk about his defensive prowess. They talk about how good defensively he is, how, like, well-minded with his football IQ and his ability to read the game and the likes. They don't really talk. They do talk about his offense. I'm not saying they don't, but they don't regard it as great or as good as they do with Trent.
Trent's a more
with that said, like,
player, isn't he?
Like, interesting. Go ahead.
Trent's capable of spectacular goals. Like, he's capable of really beautiful passes, crosses, and shots and free kicks. You know what I mean? So he's going to catch the eye a bit more, isn't he? You've got a hard job on your hands, like, keeping up with him as your opposite fullback, haven't you? Like, for the eye, like, for the amount of assists and that and goals that he's been able to get, like Trent, that look beautiful as well as, like, being an assist.
Yeah. And I do like Robinson, by the way. I think Robinson's a good player too. Obviously he's U.S. men's national team player, so I support him. But what I was getting at is that, and then I'll bring in the Irishman with the intro. I'll just land my point. What it is with Robbo is that so often, because of the brilliance and the generational talent that is Trent, I think that sometimes you don't give the proper due to Robbo in that he is a great player in itself. I mean, I think personally, he's one of the best left backs in the Premier League era, period.
I think
he's one of the best.
Fan base took him for granted, haven't we? We took him for
granted.
And
that's one of those. That's all I was getting at. It's like, I see a lot of people talk all they're doing about Robbo and how he's missing a step or he's lost a step and the likes. But I'm just saying, like, still though, it seems so quick for them to judge him like that.
I'm not saying have him out of
a rough patch.
Yeah, I'm not saying have him out of the team. I'm saying still have him in the team, but have him in the team less with a new number 2.
Okay.
More or less his equal, like, you know what I mean? And,
that's interesting. All right.
Younger player, and how old's Anthony Robinson? I don't care.
No doubt. Let me bring in the Irishman, and then I'll get that answer for you. Irishman, okay. How are you doing? Sorry about the fact I couldn't get to you on WhatsApp. I don't have my phone in the office here with me, so that's why I'm unable to get on WhatsApp. But glad to see you.
No, you're all right. I just assumed I'd been dropped. I'm out here having to ask me for links.
No.
Some dude in the chat.
No. I value you like I value Robbo. I value you like I value Robbo, brother.
Yeah,
trust me on that one.
Dropped for the big games on the bench.
No.
No,
not happening. Big up.
Yeah, he is. No, Darry is. He's old enough. Well, not old enough, but he's 27. That Robinson guy, so he's sort of at that end of his career. All right, he's not like a 22-year-old kid. So he's peaked.
Yeah, I don't.
He's at
do
his peak.
Do you think we wouldn't go for him simply because he's at that stage of he's at that age where he's like, how like they say
annoyingly probably
5 to 28 is normally like your prime years. If not,
I think annoyingly, yes.
Where did Richard Hughes snap? Brian. Where did Richard Hughes snap Kerkers up from? What club did he come from?
Oh, I'll find that out for you too. Let Brian finish his thought though, and then I'll get the Robinson and I'll get you the Kerkers point too. Go ahead.
No, I was just kind of annoyingly, yeah. Like 27, probably just right at the end of it's still young enough for me. It won't bother me bringing a 27-year-old, but apparently, yeah, it's kind of like 22. And the way they say it is, they like to buy a player that still has room to grow and improve, which is a way of saying they don't want to buy the finished article. Mm-hmm. They want to buy someone who can. Who will cost them 20 million, but by the time they're finished with him, he'll be worth 80. You know, it's. But I think you should always Klopp did. Klopp did that sort of thing with Endo. I don't mind every now and again stepping outside of that. If there's just some obviously really freaking good player there, I don't care if he's 27. Fans won't care. If you get 4 good years out of a 27-year-old, you can win a lot of trophies in 4 years. So. But it seems to be right on the. I'd imagine for FSG or not FSG, but the way the thing is run, it's probably towards the later end.
Yeah, the younger model than Robinson being 27 might look.
If he's a goalie though, if he's a goalie, imagine a 27 is so young for a goalkeeper.
It was Hughes who got snapped him up, wasn't it, Brian? Richard Hughes.
This Kerkers lad. I'm guessing he's probably come from Germany or somewhere.
I got answers for you if you want. I did look up both of them. Dara, it's a great point, by the way. When it comes to left back, I mean, we still have Gomez. Unfortunately, I just don't know if Gomez is. I don't know if Gomez is this coach's cup of tea when it comes to the left back, at least. Maybe he looks at him as being more of a center back. Unfortunately, for Gomez, if that's the pathway into a starting lineup that he wants to take, being a left back role. But
I think we're rock solid with Simeon Robbo.
Yeah. For the answers that Lee asked for. I'll start with Robinson and then I'll go to Kirkes. Robinson, one is, like you said, 27 years old. Originally, he was with the. Originally, you know what? He was in Liverpool, not Liverpool FC. He was with Everton under 21s originally. So yeah, I did not know that until this very moment.
Does he have English parents or something?
I think he has an English. I think he has there's some connection to England with him. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense because it's very unusual for an American kid to be over there.
You know what? Kind of family. Yeah, I think I have a vague memory of it now because the players appear in the Echo, like the Liverpool Echo, all the time. The players for each club. I seem to remember, an American being at Everton, and that's just reminded me, that he's been there,
yeah. Yes, he is. It says when I just Googled it and it says when it comes up, it says American-English.
They always make a note of it when there's an American player like around the squad or anything, like just to and that. Yeah, I do like Robinson. He's dependable, isn't he? He's quite good defensively, and he's
quick.
Forward.
Certainly very quick.
Yeah.
Well, he's not only quick. You know what I like about his nickname is Jedi, but like what I like about him is that he is like he's not someone that you're going to bully off the ball. By the way, he is a definitely a strong specimen of a individual when it comes. And I'm talking about Anthony Robinson, but again, he was Everton U21s, but he went to Bolton Wanderers. Then was with Wigan Athletic, and they got him on loan. Then they bought him for £1.9 million. Then Fulham bought him in 2020 for £1.9 million. His current market value is £22.7 million. Is what at least the.
I bet I've watched him for Everton's under 21s against us.
Yeah, probably have.
Yeah.
And also as far as Kirkes was with AZ Alkmaar originally.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Technically originally. The other team he played for was a team that is ETO FC, basically.
Yeah.
He was with the Gior under 17s. He is someone that, like, hey, you know what? Maybe Kirkes can get a little holler from Dominic, actually, and maybe he can convince him to come get interested in joining Liverpool. Then, if you guys rate him so heavily, he went to Bournemouth at £15.5 million. That's how much Bournemouth paid for him, and currently his value is at £17.6 million. That's his current market value. But why I say Dominic is because he's Hungarian by nationality.
Yeah. I'm sure it would benefit Dom, like if the two of them get
21 years old. 21
there's no reason to suspect that they don't, but it would benefit him, wouldn't it? Like having another Hungarian guy around. It's always good at clubs. It's been a thing for a long time, hasn't it? Like,
surely.
Alisson's a bit lonely now. There's only him and the Brazilian in the squad, and Fabinho and Firmino gone. He's on his own.
Is he the only Brazilian that we have on the team currently?
Yeah, not on the squad, is there? On the first team squad, apart from him.
Yeah, I guess you are right, because Bobby's no longer there. Fabinho's no longer there. That was his little Brazilian entourage. Yeah.
Linked with that again before, but I didn't watch the video, but I seen the title of the video. It said Kirkes and Ederson. Can't remember which one it was, but it was one of our channels, like Liverpool channels.
It is. I mean, what I find very, very empowering, because I know that the rivalry goes deep, very deep, and when it comes to South American players. But like, what is empowering is that you do see the camaraderie between like Maka, for instance, and Nunez or Lucho. Yet, those same players, when they're facing off, I'm sure in international play are very, very much heated and very much involved in trying to get a victory for their national squads. Very, very partisan when it comes to that, I'm sure, but not.
Yeah, that's a good feat for Brentford. If we don't buy him, somebody will soon. I predict, like, if we don't go for him, someone else will buy him. Like one of
For Kirkaz, you talking about?
Yeah, someone else will buy him if we don't.
Who else is there out there that you that kind of tell us in the chat too? Who else is there out there that you would be interested in hearing or seeing possibly be? I know Davies is an easy shout probably for a lot of people. You're certainly not going to get the defense out of Davies. You're looking more for offensive output from him than you are. Very similar to like a Frimpong on the right side. You're not looking for defensive measures from Frimpong as a right back, much less Davies as a left back. But who else is there out there that you would be like interested in seeing a name be speculated on? Do you have one, Lee, or do you have one, Brian? And in the chat, tell us if there's someone out there. So I know, like, and be realistic, because I don't think Theo Hernandez is going to be like leaving and coming to Liverpool type thing or something like that.
One thing I will say is it's not beyond the realms of possibility that Tsimikas gets a new deal and stays as Robbo's number 2. Stranger things have happened. Don't know when his current deal's up. Has it got a year or 2 on it? Probably, but yeah, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that he'd stay as the number 2, as the battle.
Brian, do you have someone in mind?
Anyone? Well,
or are you comfortable with what we have right now? And we just, like I said earlier in the broadcast, we just develop a youth academy player to eventually be the heir apparent to one of the backup roles, if not the starting role.
Well, one of the teams we just played there, Brighton, their Stupinan was someone who I thought was probably the best left back in the league last season. He was crazy stuff, but very, very attacking player. And they brought in the Turkish guy Kadioglu to play left back now as well. They kind of moved the Stupinan a little bit. He's a really, really good player as well. I thought he was probably one of the standout. There was all like the big names, obviously at the Euros, like the Gakpos and the Mal. But other than that kind of crowd, I thought he was one of the standout players. I really liked him.
Yeah.
So if he's gone to Brighton, if a Stupinan was available, but again, very, very attacking player, but also playing on the left of a 3 this year by the looks of it. So not sure what's going on there. There's a few boys, right? Like I love that guy that's at Laywick. I love Gramalo, but he's nearly 29 now, I think. But he's fantastic, that guy. But yeah, no, I think we're happy. Like I said, I think we're not far off a change. Simi and Robbo, it won't be long before that gets changed. I mean, that's not a 4-year thing. At some point in the next
that area of the squad nicely.
Refresh. That's the word.
Yeah, just refresh.
Yeah, refresh is the right word. Yeah, at some point. So, and if we do have a Bradley in the ranks at left back, then yes, of course, brilliant. Bring him through. That's what the fans love more than £100 million signing is some guy like a Trent coming through. That's what you get more satisfaction from, one of your own becoming one of the best in the world that everybody wants to buy, rather than just going, oh, well, yeah, we like it when we go out and sign big players, but there's definitely more. Connor Bradley gets more love than Tsimikas does, for example.
Yeah.
Tsimikas costs money. He didn't come through it, but Bradley, he's one of our own. He's a young kid. Gets a lot of love because of it,
Right.
Simi's not a great example because he does actually get a lot of love. Simi's very
gets a lot of love.
Yeah, he's one of them fun.
He gets a lot of love. He's a character in the locker room too. He gets a lot of love.
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean, though. It's sort of. I just thought like from the other side, but yeah, any young player that comes through. So yeah, but I don't think people are saying Owen Beck and that kind of thing. Is he?
Yeah,
I
but
rate
Is he
Owen Beck.
there? Is
I
he?
rate Owen Beck. I think he. You just mentioned Bradley. I think he could have a pathway similar to Bradley if given time to develop. And it's not like we're in such desperate need. Like Bradley played because we needed a right back at the time. You know, like we didn't have a right back to play that role when Trent got
Well,
injured.
he's done well. Owen Beck's keeping the rookie bloodline going well there, and he don't know if he's good enough for us, but he's done well on his loans, hasn't he?
I think also wasn't it when I think Bradley also got one of the starts because not only was Trent injured at the time, I think wasn't Gomez injured at the time too. I want to say, I think he had picked up a knock.
Probably. We
Oh
got
well, that
Scanlon
definitely
as
happened.
well.
They were
Young
both.
left backs. We got Craig, not Craig. Forgot
Joey
his
was
first
out for
name.
ages, so
Scanlon
all
as
that
well,
had to happen was one to be picked up a knock, and they were going to be two out. There was a time when, that definitely happened. Trent and Joey were both injured.
Mm-hmm. But I think,
Yeah, I
I think it was. I think that's how like it ended up. You know, kind of being a pathway for Bradley to kind of get his start. I'm not suggesting that I want to see that happen for us to be the pathway for Beck, but I'm just saying
what sort of
Beck is a
price
good player.
do
I
you
think.
think?
I think Owen Beck is a good player.
But the
What
thing I
sort
would
of
say,
price
just
do you
quickly,
think he'd be asking for Kirkes? Your best guess at a price for Kirkes that Bournemouth wants?
30 million would buy him.
Mm.
Probably.
The only thing I would say about Bradley is, he was, but anybody that was paying attention to the other bits that go on at the club will know he just won Player of the Year, both. He didn't come from he was actually brilliant out on loan. He was one of the best players in the championship. Like I say, he was Bolton's Player of the Year, so we knew he had pedigree. We were just waiting to see if he could. And then it only took about 10 minutes, and we're like, oh yeah, this kid's good. Yeah, definitely. So if a Beck can go away and look, let's transfer it and say Owen Beck goes to Celtic, and maybe not their Player of the Year, that's asking a lot, but goes there and gets a Young Player of the Year, or is Fans Player of the Year, or gets voted in the Team of the Season. So basically has a great season. So now then he's gone. Let's bring him back and see, can he make that next step up here? And then you could have a Beck and a Bradley. Cost you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Costas was a decent deal, wasn't he? At 10.7 million or 10.2, it might have been. But that was a good deal, that, like, just over 10 million.
Yeah. 30 million.
Nothing.
A few medals, the boy, and he got a few medals.
He was an international,
No.
Yeah. What kind of deal do you think Robbo is deserving of getting? So it's reported, Brian, that currently Robbo is in negotiations for an extension to his current deal.
Some people don't like that.
We're about to move. This is the last little part of it, Crab. So don't worry.
Robbo will play internationals until he's like 38 if he's still playing. Yeah. Robbo will play internationals forever.
What is the deal that you would offer him then? What is the deal?
I'd give him a 2-year extension from the end of this season and keep him on the same money or similar enough money. But yeah, probably a 2-year, maybe a 3-year deal. But yeah, this season, add 2 on to the end of that. Or no, 3. Because that's probably only going to be a 1-year extension when you look at it that way, because he's probably got a year left after that. So maybe bring him, which would 2028, I think, if he was to start a new deal in the summer on a 3-year contract, so that'd be 2028, and he'd be 33 then, something like that. Yeah, okay. That's what I do.
That was a nasty injury he copped for last season, wasn't it? Like, it kept him out quite a while, didn't it? That injury, like, it was quite a bad one of its kind.
Yeah, it was a really weird one too.
Really,
and like Crab is saying, same money. I'm not giving him double bubble or anything. I'm not giving him, just like
I say it with a lot of the players too. I know that we're talking about Robbo, but he just mentioned Verge, and I know that we all have interest to see what happens with Trent, Verge, and also obviously Mo. Keep them on the same. Just keep keep them on the same scale of what they're making, but give them more incentives, and especially considering the path of the club and the team, the path of what the team is going on currently. It probably would be highly lucrative for them to sign a deal that has a little bit more, added bonuses because of team performances and the likes, and maybe even individual performances as well.
I'm hoping that when one of them signs, the others do. Then I hope that person is Virgil as well. That is signing is the first one we heard.
I think Virgil is the top. It is being reported that Virg is probably, out of the three, he is the most likely to have his deal.
Yeah, I think that has helped sway Mo's mind to stay, seeing Virgil signing on again as captain. I'm top of the league and that, so I think they'll be buzzing, right?
Robbo has currently 2 years left on his deal. I think
Salah's deal will be singular.
You think Salah's deal is a 1-year deal, you think?
No, I think it was singular. I think it would just, we could sign Mbappe tomorrow. I think Salah is making the decision that he's making, regardless of whether Trent stays or. That's just me. That's
singular. I got you.
You're probably right. Yeah. You're more than likely right, Brian.
And you know what I can see here is if we sign up Verge and we sign up Robbo, the narrative, which is a word I hate, but it'll be, they're signing up the old guys. Oh, they're but what about the future?
Right.
What
Right. Yeah.
Where's Trent's deal? Where's it's all well and good giving Robbo deal to his 34. Yeah, but where's that'll be the thing. That'll be the thing.
You know how they always say sometimes the club uses signing extensions to the contracts as the way of negating or kind of or trying to put a blinder on not possibly signing a new or bringing in someone in that window. If we were to
a new signing thing.
Yeah,
a new sign. Yeah.
So
Virgil, it's like a new signing. No,
exactly. If the case, and this is for the chat too, if we were to get Verge and Mo to sign, which would be fantastic and well appreciated. But if we were to be able to sign all three to deals in the January window, that meant, or that was the only thing that we did, would you be angry about that? Would you be angry of that in the club not then pursuing it? Would the dreaded ambition word come up and say, oh, this team doesn't have enough ambition? If they were to re-sign the three players, maybe even give an extension to Robbo, they shore up all not only the current players like the three I just mentioned, but also shore up some of the deals of Ibu and Robbo. They did all their affairs in order in January, by the January window. But yet they don't sign anyone. Would you be up in arms about it?
Left. I think with you a few signings, at least one of us hope. Like we said before, just to refresh the squad, certainly in the midfield, because without Gravenberch, it looks different, doesn't it? It's hard to see what has happened with us, if he was omitted from the team for an extended period. So,
okay,
I think we should have midfield to give us a chance of beating City, to get over the line against City. I think we do need that extra body to count on.
Okay. Yeah, I see the chat is okay with that. Lee Wiskis says he'd be happy with that. Ross the Crab says nope, that would be amazing.
We can win without blowing the team. We can win without strengthening the team. But there is a drop off when Virgil isn't there. Yeah, we've won without Virgil, but when he's out for any periods of time, we're not. I wouldn't say half the team we are. Close to half the team we are without him. He is a huge part of what our team is. And for that reason, that's why I want to see his contract signed. The sooner the better, even if it has no influence whatsoever on Trent and Mo. I just want to hear that he's signed and he's with us. And that'll give me that'll be a nice Christmas treat for me.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
New Year boost.
Happy little New Year's right there. Brian, what would your reaction be if January window ends and in that January window closing, we announced we've re-signed Trent, we've re-signed Mo, we've re-signed Mo, Trent, and let's see, and we've re-signed Ibu, we've re-signed all the big three, plus obviously some of the players that are on 2 years.
From a small amount we heard about Virgil's new contract.
Like Verge, Mo, Trent, and then Ibu, Robbo, all signed, shored up. They'll be here for another 3, 4 years. Is that gonna be enough for you, or would you still say that we'll need to? You would prefer if it meant, and this is the caveat, if it meant that money that we did was the money that we probably would have used for a big signing or something like that. So that's why we did it, kind of deal. Maybe that'll put a little extra.
Well, it'd make people feel better around the transfer window if we didn't sign anyone to have Virgil's sign again. Because of the three, like, there seems to be less stumbling blocks for him to sign a new contract than with Trent and Mo. So to cheer everyone up, I'm sure, to hear it sooner rather than later. Do you know what I mean? It does help. Like, it'll help me. It'll cheer me up. Like, the sooner it's done.
Okay, Brian, your thoughts?
Geez, that's a lot. I mean, it was all going so well until you said that would take the money away from. From us, like.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So you'd be saying like Robbo gets an extension, Ibu gets an extension, and then we do Trent and Salah and Virgil. No, you see, I think that's all just kind of like, we can't do this because we got to pay this, and this, and say, yeah, but that's your fault. Like, you should have done that. You know, you shouldn't have had to do all that this month. You should have had your bills in order a year ago, you know, and then 2 years before that, it's your fault that it's all come on top of you. That's not the new regime's fault. So you get a bit of a pass there. It would be a huge boost, but then you're still looking at really the bit out of all of that. I don't think Salah's going to sign. So out of all of that, the only one that would really come close to making up for something like that would be getting Trent tied down. Like that, I think getting Trent tied down is as big as 3 of the other deals put together, nearly, just from the whole.
So Trent's your biggest priority. I saw that Krabs
in terms of making the
Virgil was his number one priority out of the three.
In terms of placating the fans.
Okay.
I'm looking at how.
But in terms of making the fans feel happy, just in terms of making the fans feel happy about the future, like I say, to be all well and good getting a 33-year-old Salah and a 33-year-old VVD, but if Trent is leaving, you see that's going to kind of sap all the goodwill away from the VVD contract and the new Modio. So if you're talking about what would make the fans happiest and what would make people feel best, I think if you got that one locked down, you could turn around and say, look, we didn't do anything in January. Okay, but we got Trent signed up now. But if you were to turn around and say we didn't do anything in January and Trent is leaving, so they have a very, very interesting 2.5 months.
What if Trent leaves and we bring in a Arda
Gyorkas,
who's he's on my list. It's actually interesting that is one of the topics I was going to bring up, because now he's a very, very popular individual out there as being a target.
Look at him,
Now I get it; it's not a like for like.
No, but in terms of
as in star quality,
happiness on the happiness scale, just purely on the happiness scale. Yeah, it's like, okay, you know you've lost your, I don't know, whatever, but you're not just that bereft. Here's something awesome as well. It's not the same as what you've lost, but here is something else that would cushion the blow. Would cushion the blow, but Yeah,
If you
I
remember
wouldn't.
what happened when we didn't have Virgil, it was an awful season. Whereas with Trent and Mo, we can still be a very good side without either of them. Without Virgil, we're not as good a side. It's as simple as that. That's why his signing is the most important one for me.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have a couple. What's interesting is we do have some. Right back is a position that we've gone into the future planning process more than once. So I know that Calvin Ramsey is a player that was very highly coveted by the administration that was bringing him in. He said that he was. I heard a lot of great reports on him.
Yeah,
he's unfortunately been hitting a lot of injuries, some unfortunate injuries, I should say.
Yeah, it's not over for him, is it? Like, you know what I mean?
He's too young for it to be over, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it could go well for him. We never know. Like, he sounded like a really good potential, player, didn't he? When we brought him in.
Yeah.
Specifically, I really like him. I think it could be very useful to us. Like, it's just a shame on it with the injuries, but it happens, doesn't it?
And to answer Red Armchair's statement, Trent needs to be aware of the public perception if he does his local club out of a transfer fee. I think he knows. What his situation is. I keep emphasizing this.
It's the club's fault for not. Sorry, mate. Gagging in on you there. It's the club's fault for letting it get to that. You know what I mean? It's just.
And I get that. I get that sentiment. But what I was going to get at is this: is that I get that it is the club. The club has a hand in it getting to this place. That I'm not disputing. Okay, but I also am saying that today's footballer has some incredible stay. Like, they have a lot of power in what their future holds for them. And what I mean by that is there's obviously, it used to be, I don't want to say used to be, but there wasn't as many teams out there that were going to be paying the enormous salaries to be able to take on some of these star players. But with the emergence of Saudi Arabia, obviously, with the emergence of a lot of those nation states taking over clubs, with the emergence of now, like, your Ineos and stuff like that, there are these huge conglomerate corporations that are taking over teams as well. You do have some teams that can afford to pay for these players. So getting to the end of that contract, and this is where I'll land my point, Ali. Getting to the end of that contract, if you are a player that's confident enough that you can go to pretty much any team and call your own shots, especially when it comes to a play very similar to like what ended up with Mbappe, which is by him going and not forcing Real Madrid to pay an enormous fee to get him. That money is now in play to be able to be put towards his books, his own money. You know what I mean? His own salary.
Yeah, so that very elite group. You're saying it's a really elite group right now that are able, and you are still taking that risk of
you're taking the risk
in January.
Yeah.
Like it's taken a while for the Bosman deal. Everybody kind of said, this will happen now. Players going to be walking out all the time, but they didn't, because players back then, because they weren't on huge, say they were on 10 grand a week, they were much happier having a 5-year contract, constantly updating, knowing that if they did break their leg, they've got 5 years left on their deal, they've got 4 years left on their deal. So now you have seen that shift over the last few years of players actually playing that game of poker. And taking it to that level where they're backing themselves to, if they did have an injury because of medical science now as well, they're more likely to get. I mean, you'd have to be horribly unlucky to have a career-ending injury, right? So but yeah, they now, and of course, like you're saying, like there's no such thing as a free transfer. You know, any club that makes a free transfer, sometimes there's clubs that have made free transfers, and when the yings and the yangs and anything falls out, they probably ended up paying 25 million for that player, 8 million to an agent, an extra 10 million in wages, and an extra 10 million, and they probably could have bought a player for 32. You know, so they're, you know, now that's in the extreme example, but someone like Trent,
is that like kickbacks? You think? Do you think that's like kind of like
no? And that's the legal
get your, you know, like get your player to
that's
leave
before
on free,
you get to that.
And we'll sweeten the deal for your agent deal to like.
That's before you even get to that. Yeah, that's before you even get to that. Like the league, the actual legal stuff that you can do. But these guys, they are playing. Like someone like Trent knows all these big interviews he's been doing. I've noticed a change in his tone in the last 6 to 8 months when he's been doing interviews. He's gone from the humble boy who clearly knows he has talent to, I'm going to be elite. I want to be the best in the world. I want to win trophies. Elite. That's a very different Trent to the one that was here not that long ago. So that's what piqued my interest. And so what you should be saying is, I want to be elite. I want to win trophies. I want to do that. And I want to do it at Liverpool. But he left out that bit.
He left out that point, though.
It is hard to get your head around.
I've been around too long, dude. You know me. I've been around too long. I've seen none of this is new. I've seen it come out of different players' mouths before. The game is always the same. The playbook is always very similar. You know,
he's an ever-present in the team, wasn't he, in this like successful?
I thought you were going to say he's an Evertonian. I thought you were going to say he's an Evertonian.
Well,
it's crazy, isn't it? It is a mad one, that.
Yeah,
like you said, man, he has huge power.
If Manaman left and he plays, you know what I mean? I don't hold it against players. If the club has let a player's contract get to that point, then you know it is up to the player.
That's I'll address that. Sorry, that the guy that said that earlier on, Armchair said about how he looks. The way I would say is that if Trent leaves on a free, everybody looks like a dickhead. We look stupid for allowing him to get to that stage. And he will look like a dickhead to a lot of fans for walking away on a free. And especially if he goes to the Death Star in Madrid.
Right.
So everybody's going to look like a dickhead if he walks for a free. Right? Nobody coming out looking, oh, we're the victim. No, you should have had him tied down 2 years ago. Oh, he's an asshole. It's his choice. He can do what he likes.
Right.
We didn't sign him up.
Right.
Everybody looks, there ain't nobody coming out on the right or wrong side of that one. Everyone fucked up.
I really enjoyed watching Manaman do well in that Real Madrid team in the early 2000s. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, he won two.
Yeah, I was about to say
he did 2 European Cups.
Yeah.
Maybe
and was
he's
actually a part of, like, it wasn't like a bystander in them either. He actually contributed.
He was the best, man. He was. Owen only got a year there. He did okay. Like the Zidane's, like McManaman won more than Beckham won. Beckham won nothing at Madrid. Zidane got 1 European Cup, no leagues. I don't think, maybe one.
He's a very good player, McManaman.
Well, McManaman really made an impact there, you know. But then you can also point to the other guys that go there as the next big thing, and poof, they're gone. You know, they get swallowed up. So
there was
that whole I'm elite thing.
We're going
also quickly, Trotman, just as an agent, right? As an agent, let's just say in a broad stroke term, do you think he's got how much extra would you say he's got someone come at him and go, right, Trent, dude, I've looked at your numbers, right, and commercially at Liverpool, with your endorsements and with your profile at Liverpool, you either do or should be doing 20 million a year, right? Call it 20, right? Whatever.
Okay.
Do you think that that guy is going to be saying, if you go to Madrid, that'll be 40? Do you think there's that much do you think in that world where you say you do realize that if you play for Madrid, as big your profile is now, it will be even bigger out of Madrid. You will get even bigger Nike deals or Adidas or Puma or whatever that your thing is. Would you say that comes into this conversation from his agents, his people?
I think, you know what's sad about it is I think the biggest part that comes in, I don't necessarily know if it's all about the money for Trent. This is just me speculating, but I don't know if it is all about the money, because a player like him, there will be plenty of avenues for him to get money that'll be generational changing, you know? So it's not
he's already
like,
got that money. Yeah.
right.
But
He's
I
already
mean, do you think he's worth double? I mean, commercially, do you think he might,
commercially. I mean,
he's
like you
worth
are opening
more out of
you
Madrid?
are opening yourself up to a completely, you know, a more enhanced market, being Spanish speaking people that follow solely La Liga teams and the likes.
I think if he is going to go there, it will be now rather than it happening sometime in the future. If he is going to go, it'd be now. Like,
Oh, they'll put the squeeze on him. They'll tell him that too. It's like, if you're coming, come now on a free. Don't ring us up in 3 years' time, because
well,
yeah.
they have reportedly intensified their efforts. They're realizing all the resources they can, whether it's the journos that are putting out stories about Trent's already made his mind up, or Trent's already already like deciding on where he's going to live, and you know, and stuff like that. Like, they're really intensifying those efforts by trying to put pressure with, you know, unmitigated rumors and the likes. But I honestly believe that what it's getting down to is, I think this is not a knock against Slot at all, by the way. But I'm thinking Jurgen Klopp's still at this club. Let's say Klopp had another 2 years or something like that in his contract. It extends past the year that he has left on his contract. I don't think Trent moves on. I think Trent signs on. I don't think that Trent would leave Jurgen Klopp. I don't know if that sounds weird or what, but I just don't think. I'm not saying he would solely sign simply because Jurgen Klopp, but I'm saying that I think that would be a factor in him staying with a coach that has always had his back for the most part, you know, and someone that it's been basically a huge influence in his life. I think that
the only coach he's ever had.
Well, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah, with no disrespect to Slot, maybe he does feel like the change of manager is a reason.
That's what. Lee, I'll let you finish I'll let you land your point. I was just going to say the last little part is that I think that is when Klopp decided to leave. And this is just my personal, you know, perspective. When Klopp decided to leave, it opened up a door for a lot of players to decide their future a little bit easier, in that they could say, okay, this era has concluded. Maybe I can start a new era somewhere else, if that was ever in their
and that's without even considering who the new man is. So, you know what I mean? It's just like change from him to somebody else.
Now, it helps immensely that Slot has had absolutely incredible start. It helps that Slot has had also what seems to be a good connection to a lot of players, in the sense of that he's creating opportunities for some players that didn't necessarily have those opportunities in abundance with Klopp. So that helps certainly for some players. But for others, it might influence them to decide to go on elsewhere. I'm just saying that.
But just one thing as well, because as you were saying, I think like as well, there's always, I think, at a club like Liverpool, I think there's two types of players. There are players who hope they never leave. There are players who hope that they stay there, they stay in the team because they know that that's their peak or that's their top. You know, there are players who will know that one day they will always be leaving, like a Suarez or a Coutinho or a Torres. Like I think a Van Dijk is one of those players who hopes to retire here.
I think so too.
And then you've also got that other little group who, I'll go there for 5 years, but like I said, I'm a Suarez. I'll move on because I'm from South America. I'll move on eventually. But I think which one is
which
Trent,
one is he?
You don't know.
I was going to ask that question. That's a great segue into asking, from those players that we're talking about, who do you think says, I want to be the first classification that you said, the player that wants to
Retire at
retire red, or who of those players do you think says, thank you for the years, Liverpool, and now it's time for me to accomplish or go on and establish the dream I had as a child or something, or as a youth, and like as in Lucho, for instance, dad talking about how his son always wanted to play for Barcelona, who do you think is under those pretenses when it comes to the players currently? Lee, who do you think is in that? And then I'll ask Brian.
I don't think it's outlandish to believe that Trent possibly feels with Klopp gone now, and nothing against Slot. It's just that that part of his career is over and he's going on to something new. On the other hand, he might not view it that way. You know what I mean?
I get you.
It's one possible
right, and we don't have any insight. This is all us just speaking out of speculation, obviously.
One has to factor in there.
What our heart tells us.
Whether he stay or go. I don't know. It's a hard one. Quite a few Scouse players have gone to Spain before him. It's been quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ex-Liverpool players have gone there, who weren't Scousers, but a few of our lads have gone over there. Yeah.
Brian, do you have a thought on that? Do you have I
think Robbo is in the first camp. Never wants, hopes to finish his career. Virgil the same. Not sure any of our current mids maybe in that, because you got some younger players and a lot of foreign players. Maybe Jonesy, not sure. Diaz probably has his eye on another club somewhere on his journey. Salah again. Yeah, see, because I'm with Lee. I thought, when Klopp left, it was the perfect moment for a couple of other players to go. Yeah, closing credits moment. Everybody walking off into the sunset. The Klopp, Mane's gone, Bobby's gone, Salah will go, Virgil will go. They're all coming to the end of their deals. It was, it seemed obvious that was a great time to say, yeah, we've won everything. We won the league, won Champions League. We're getting on, so off we go to the next adventure, kind of thing. But Trent stayed, or Mo stayed. Glad he stayed. Virgil, the Trent one, I really don't know, man. I really don't. It's kind of like me, I could have stayed where I'm from. I could have had a really good job somewhere where I'm from and done my thing where I am. But I always said, I wanted to work and live in other countries before I kicked the bucket, and I've moved away, I worked in other countries, lived in other countries, and then came back. Maybe he's just one of those guys that has I'd love to be a Liverpool legend for my whole life. That'd be awesome. But I've always wanted to go and test myself or prove myself, another league, another level. And the thing is, like I say, he can now say, any Liverpool fan that turns around and says yada yada yada, if I'm Trent, he's going to be doing what he's doing there behind you, and he's going to set up a little table in front of him, and he's going to put all those medals out on that table. He said, "That's what I did for this club. I won us our first league title, and I won us a Champions League. Don't ever question what I've done for the club, because that's what I did for the club." So he can say that now. That's
what his PR agent is certainly telling him that. That's a good tactic, or a good statement to put out there.
At 27, halfway through what his career would usually be a career for a player. He's about halfway through, isn't he?
Yeah, you could say, do I love Liverpool? I am Liverpool, and. And me taking my talents worldwide is just me representing Liverpool worldwide. You can say something like that. So, that's something I hope that he has a different. I'm hoping that he has a different statement to say that he's not only Liverpool, but he's here to stay.
In the Champions League final, the way McManaman did.
Yeah. The segue I was going to use for that when we were speaking about Real Madrid was Real Madrid just lost to AC Milan 3-1 in the Champions League. two parts of that is what I was on to talk about, and one was this Tuchemeni conversation or rumor that he is possibly one of the players that could be on his way out is starting to apparently gain some traction. It's gotten some coverage by some noted journos. And if we had, hypothetically, the opportunity to pursue Zubimendi or Tuchemeni, who would you choose to go after? Now, keep in mind, Zubimendi was actually available. Tuchemeni wasn't available at that time, at least initially during that summer window, for all that we know. So that's possibly why his name wasn't even remotely in the running. But if you wanted to strengthen in the January window, and the opportunity is to strengthen in the DM role, and these two players are available, who are you going for? Lee, you want to go first? Then we go Brian. And in the chat, you can tell me who you think and what your reasoning is behind either candidate.
Two players that are available that we could get in January that I'd like.
No. Tuchemeni or Zubimendi.
Zubimendi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It'd be interesting to know if Slot did like Zubimendi or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And I'm saying Red Armchair supporter. I am not saying that either one is I rate one over the other. I think they're two tremendous players.
The final team Slot left behind got a good result, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm just trying. I'm saying that both players would be certainly a great addition to the team.
That'd be lovely too. That'd be some midfield too. Zubimendi and Tchouameni with a number 10 ahead of him.
Or even if they had, if we got both, that'd be
any club would be happy to have both of those. But any club that had that as a midfield would be a top club. That's a top midfield.
Sure, but I'm just asking if you had to choose between the two.
Geez. Oh yeah, I think so if you're just disregarding numbers wise and all that, again, it is like Red is saying. I mean, any coach, if you're lucky enough to have a sporting director knock on your door and go, right, done a load of work, it's either Zubimendi or Tchouameni. What are you thinking? Fucking hell, okay. The thing is, which
both are reportedly about the same. We got to spend reportedly about the same too.
But like Red is saying, which suits better with Grav? Because we need to be careful with this as well. So, which could you integrate into our team better alongside him? So you'd be say maybe someone playing the Mac role, Mac going into the 10 role, or someone coming in and coming out. So I don't think we're buying a starter in that role now. So it's funny, but I think.
So you think Tchouameni or Zubimendi would not start? Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think we're buying a starter. I don't think we need a
starter
to come in. So you'd have to, but if you had a Tchouameni, you'd probably have to play him, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to knock Grav out of the role that he's in. So whichever one of those would allow us to keep him doing what he's doing and complement him the best, which I think might be Tchouameni. Zubimendi is quite defensive player, so like Zubimendi be an awesome upgrade. So now cover your ears, people. An awesome upgrade on an Endo, say in that kind of bring on destroyer role. Just 8 years younger, basically. Does the same kind of role, but I wouldn't be breaking the bank to do that. So I'd probably bring in Tchouameni, because he's class. So bring him.
Okay.
Yeah, they wouldn't have bought him if there wasn't anything about him. Like thing with him, what did he cost? 80 million. 80 million. What?
Oh, we looked at it last night. Yeah, 70 something. Yeah.
And that was 3 or 4 years ago. It was about 4 years ago, wasn't it?
3.
I get you that one. It was.
Yeah, it was 3.
It was like 68.3 million, I think, or something like that.
So he's still at a really good young age as well, isn't he? If you're gonna buy it means even younger than Zubimendi, isn't he?
Yes. Oh yeah, I got it right on the bat. 68.3 million pounds. 68.3
Yeah.
million. That's what,
Well, like
that's
I
what
said last
Real
night,
Madrid spent for him, at least.
it's Valverde would be the one that I'd want
Oh, he's brilliant.
out of their midfield.
Oh,
They're out of the Camavinga, Tchouameni, Valverde
Yeah.
3. He'd be the one I'd go for. But they ain't selling him. He ain't selling him.
I know. Yeah, Valverde is valued at 105.7 million pounds market value.
I'd like to know what the Tchouameni story is, though. Why he's on the outs there? Why they're, why is this a thing? I'd like to know the behind the scene. I know it's Madrid, and even the best players and all that, but I'd like to just to know exactly what the crack was with him.
Yeah, they don't normally give up on players, and they don't give up, especially on players that age. Casemiro, maybe that's understandable. He was definitely well into his latter years of football age. But yeah, I agree with you on that. There might be something underlying in that as to why they are still willing to part ways, or at least put him out there to see what they can get back, because they're not getting what they paid for him, obviously.
And you can't trust a word they say. You cannot trust a word Madrid say about
absolutely no. They're definitely a lot of that.
They'll know they won't be able to get that 75, 80 million back, but they'll be able to get a sizable chunk of it back, wouldn't they, if they sold him at his age now?
Well, they're looking for 60 million euros. 60 million euros is the reported price. I'm sorry, Brian. Say 60 million euros is the reported price they're looking for. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're looking at losing him. Not a huge, but they're looking at being taking a loss. Basically,
that's like a 20 million pound loss or something. Around 20 million pounds.
So that's why the alarm bells. It's like, okay, let's vet this properly. If it's injuries, okay, walk away. If it's anything else, okay, well, let's find out what it is. That can be dealt with, But if it's, oh no, he's got a dodgy knee, or walk away.
Before we go, I'd like to. I know it's a difficult question, but I know that our chat is full of undisputed mighty Reds. Who are you taking? I haven't seen one person really step up. I know Red Armchair Supporter said it doesn't matter. He'd take both for top players. He'd be happy with either, but no one has said who they would prefer to see get the signature.
You've got a Tchouameni from me, and you've got a.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The panel is split here.
Yeah,
the panel is split.
You
got a Zubi and you got a Tchouameni. What is the chat saying? We've got a good number of people in the chat. I would love to see who you would want to see as a possible starter, if not role player for us. What's that?
I'd be overjoyed if it was a possibility, a genuine one, of us getting him from Madrid.
I think it is a possibility. There is an immense possibility that we could.
5 million's worth taking a punt if he hasn't got injury problems. It's it didn't work for him there. Then it makes sense, doesn't it?
The most underlining question is what Brian said, which is, if they're going to part with him for this kind of with a obviously taking a loss in the money, in the pockets, then is there an underlining feature that we're missing out on?
Might have changed my mind now. We want between him and Zubimendi. It's Tchouameni time, not Zubimendi time.
I see. I like it. Red Armchair Supporter stepped up and said he would go with Zubimendi, but he wouldn't be disappointed if it was Tchouameni. Big up to Makama, by the way.
He wants Reinders.
Yeah. Okay.
Invisible option C.
Yeah. There you go. I was only saying A or B on that Makama. That's why.
But they did do the groundwork on Zubi. So if you were to put your sensible head on, and you would say, well, they were in for the guy. They were all in on the guy. So it would just be interesting to know from the manager. And we speak about him being a straight talking guy, but I don't think you get a straight answer on this. Has the emergence of Gravenberch changed the transfer landscape, as it were, the needs, the priorities is the word. Has that changed the transfer priorities? Obviously they'd probably still like to do something in that area. As I say, probably like a potential Well, no, a definite long-term Endo replacement.
I'd like to
somebody
believe that if
has that. Sorry, just Lee. I mean, has his basically? I'd love to have slot one-on-one. Has the fact that Gravenberch is playing like this mean that you don't even need a Zubamendi? Like, is it that much emergence, or is it still like, no, we could still take a guy. Grab's keeping his spot, but we could still take a guy. Or are you now going, nah, fuck him, man, we don't even need a player here? I'd love to know how much the needle has swung on that.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah,
I
get
think
what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
yeah, I don't think even Slot expected him to be, you know, this good, as it were. So I'd love to know how much of a shift has that said to us. Basically, like I've been saying it, we've gone from needing someone to play the role to just needing somebody to understudy Gravenberch.
Yeah.
You know, and that kid could even be a Bajcetic, but let's not go down that road.
Yeah.
You know, but it's how much has his impact and his emergence this year changed what the people are thinking at the club. That's one of my. I literally I would love to know that, because I don't even think
all this depends on how much Tchouaméni wants to move, and one would hope that Ibu could have a word in his ear, being, you know, French national teammate, and that, and knowing him could have a word in his ear if he wants a move and is looking to get out of Madrid, wants to play again.
Ibu is our only French player right now, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
It's definitely the number of nations that represent is very, very diversified on our roster.
Tchouaméni and Kerkez could make it a Hungarian double and a French double.
Yeah.
Bit of conflict.
Yeah, there was I saw Abdul said he wants Davies, Tchouaméni, or Isaac, I believe. Makama says he doesn't think Zubi leaves. One of the reasons why I'm bringing up Zubamendi, Makama, is Manchester City have, and you can tell by their fan base too, Manchester City understands the fact that without Rodri, they are a different team. And right now, their fan base, but also some of the journals out there heavily have them interested in trying to pursue Zubamendi as an option to bring in. I think that considering the amount of work and effort that we had in going to a club that was, you know, all in for it, and the fact that Zubamendi does look up to Xabi Alonso, who did make the same choice by coming to Liverpool. I don't think that just because City says, hey, we're interested in you now, that's the determining factor that makes him go to City, just to play an eventual backup role to Rodri, most likely when he comes back. But
for me, the international break's a real inconvenience now. I prefer to go straight into Madrid and City after Villa, you know, with Southampton between that, obviously Villa, Southampton, then go straight into them to the current form of Madrid and City. Like, a good chance, wouldn't we? But it's going to be another time and place, isn't it? Now, after the
it's like a game, Lee. It's like a game when you're 2-0 up and you don't want it to be halftime, and the other team is begging for it to be halftime so they can get in. Right now, it's like we're 2-0 up. We don't want halftime. We want to play all these boys tomorrow. We want to play City when they're down and we're up. We want to play Madrid when they're in the shit and we're up. Yeah, we don't want them getting 2 weeks off. And, guess what? This Man City guy is injured, so he can't go in internationals. This Madrid guy is injured. He's got flu. He can't go. So they'll be sitting at home. They'll be regrouping. A couple of our boys will go out and get knackered or get kicked.
After this,
it'll come back. We're in a good moment. They're in a bad moment. You're right. I'd love to play them all tomorrow. I want to play all of them tomorrow. Villa too.
I was going to ask this as being as a segue. You're speaking about teams in form. You're speaking about teams that aren't in form at all. There being that we just had our Champions League game today is Europa. Galatasaray, has just beaten Spurs, by the way, 3-2. And it's 0-0 with the start of Man U. and Chelsea is up 4-0 in their Europa match.
Yeah. Against who? Who Chelsea
The
playing?
notable teams that you'd probably want to hear about.
Who are Chelsea playing?
Chelsea are playing Noah, FC Noah. They're an Armenian team.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
By the way,
I've literally never.
By the way,
heard of
that is
team.
4-0, and they're in the 27th minute.
Yeah, Chelsea's in the Conference League, but it's Europa Conference League.
Or
It's not
Conference
even
League.
Europa.
Excuse me, I said Europa.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah,
They are in
it's
the
even
conference.
it's a smaller. FC Noah.
Yeah.
What score was the Galatasaray and Spurs game in Istanbul? What score was that?
3-2.
3-2. That's Europa. That's Europa. That one was that's Spurs, and that is against Galatasaray, and that was the scores were Dominic Solanke had a goal in that one. Victor Osimhen had a goal, had 2 goals for them actually, and
I like Spurs, but I also like Turkish horror movies.
Yunus Akjun, I think that's how you pronounce
it. Red. At Chelsea, the goals were going in by 2-2 there by the looks of it.
Oh no, that score is going to be a very ugly score at the end of that. It's already, like I said, they're not even at the 30. They're at the 28th minute, and it is 4-0. Like I said, a lot of different goals.
McComas in Spurs game is cracking. Yeah, see, Red Armchair gets it. He gets it. I would love that. It's another one of those things, actually, kind of bucket list things. I would love. Not only would I love to go to Istanbul. I would just straight up just love to go to Istanbul, but I would love to go and see a big game, one of those big derbies in Istanbul. The atmosphere at those games is just off the charts. It's absolutely insane. Like Gala versus Fenerbahce would be the one. Fenerbahce. Whoa, man! What, like, literally 20 minutes, like, just nonstop fireworks, noise. Forget about the game. That would be that to me. If I could do something, this weekend on a football, I think that's where I would go. Go to Istanbul, get some of the best kebabs in the world, man. Some of the best kebabs in the world.
It's a beautiful sight. When you
what a place.
There you go.
There's more history in 100 meters in Istanbul than you'd find in most countries.
It's a fascinating city.
But yeah, those derbies, those games, they are. But Spurs actually do have some unfortunate history over there. So I hope everything is okay because, stuff has gone badly wrong for Spurs fans over there before.
I will say this: one player that had a pretty phenomenal game in that Spurs match. I know that there were some people saying that they were watching it. Was Dries Mertens.
Dries Mertens.
He
must be about 40 now. He must be close to 40. I guarantee he's 38 now. At least
55 touches. His passing accuracy wasn't the greatest because he didn't have that many passes. He had 23 out of 35, but he had 9 key passes. That's a lot. 3 big chances created by him. That's really, really good.
He's brilliant at Napoli. 37 now. Yeah, he's been. There's some amazing, like that's the other thing. If you were to just quickly, like, I'm not saying do it now, but if you were to Google over the last few years, the people that have played for Gala, Besiktas, Fenerbahce, the amount of ex-superstars, there's always at least 4 or 5, like Ndombele is playing there, Balotelli, people like that. They always have like some of the best footballers playing there, and they go there and they perform. A lot of them can't do it in England, can't do it in Italy, but they go there, and it is a brilliantly entertaining league. It really is, man.
Well, what I was going to segue into, like I said, was with the form that these teams have had, whether it's been City, whether it's been Arsenal, who lost recently, whether it's been Real Madrid, there's been some saltiness that has been put on display. I know we all know that AFTV tends to be a salt factory, when it comes to some of their takes and some of their the coverage that they provide. But they were recently on form by having Robbie go off on the Champions League format. Now, I know that some of us are getting used to the Champions League, the new Champions League format. I know that some of us are holding off on our not only evaluation, but our opinion on the format until we actually get through this year, or at least through the knockouts, or through the league stage into the knockout stage, because the knockout stage is more set up towards a more traditional approach towards it than it is for what you see in the current league status, in that you don't play you're not playing a home and away in the league status. But it's interesting because this Champions League format was brought forward so it could favor teams who have never gotten into the round of 16. It was put there so you could have a little bit better of a chance to get into that knockout round, because a lot of times the groups would always have your juggernauts, and those juggernauts would normally go on to the knockout stages. And those smaller teams would, you might have one or two that sneak through, but so often you didn't have the case where you had a lot of Cinderella teams, as we call it here in America. I don't know if you call it that like that in Europe, but Cinderella teams that get into those latter stages of the competition. But apparently Robbie was very, very angry about it. I understand he's projecting a little bit because Arsenal are on a unusual for them for the past couple of years, at least now, unusual losing streak. And being that they lost this game in the fashion that they did, it didn't help. But Robbie went on a rant about how he was so angry about this format because they don't have the opportunity to go back to their grounds and get quote unquote revenge. They think that they were hard done by the decisions, obviously, by the referees, but all the same, they think that they could get a result at the Emirates. I'm asking you, do you have currently, have you already made somewhat of a formulated opinion that you think isn't going to necessarily change regardless of what ends up happening in this in the tournament? Because this got asked actually, I think, on the overlap as well, which was very interesting. And Jamie asked this question, and it was or asked a form of this question, in that he was on the fence as to whether he likes it or he doesn't like it. Obviously, he's from the old school format, but he also is optimistic as to the latter stages of this format is going to create a very interesting 3 to 4 weeks left. So these last 4 games of the league are going to present a very interesting push towards what teams get into the knockout stages. So how are you feeling about this Champions League format, basically? I'll ask Brian the question first, then I'll ask Lee. How are you feeling about this competition?
Well, it was something that I said last night, which triggered some misunderstandings. I was saying that we could play the kids against Madrid and we could lose, and it wouldn't matter points wise. That we're pretty much qualified from this thing with a load of games to go, which it's that's great. But I don't know. I've yet to make up my mind on it, but yeah, it's like I was saying, we can look at these games and all the big teams can go out and lose a couple of games, and they'll have 4 games probably against a Rapid Vienna or they don't exist, but a Leipzig and a 4 small teams. That'll be 12 points, and they get a couple of draws somewhere else maybe, so they can lose 2 games. They can go to an Arsenal, because they got an unlucky one. So that kind of takes that jeopardy out of it. I know a lot of people like it because I've been reading a lot of people's different opinions on it, and like fans, and they're like, you got fans who are like, it's shit, it's terrible, it's basically just a long drawn out version which gives the big teams. Then you got other people going, I really like it. I like the fact that you got more games against different teams. So I think, but at the end of the day, we were talking about the other night, and again, we could probably say the quarterfinal, say the last 8 teams. We could probably sit here now and name 6 of them, regardless. Like at the start of every Champions League season, you'll go through all these games. There'll probably be 1,000 games, and then all the time. But we'll probably still get the same Bayern, Liverpool, Inter, Real Madrid, Man City, PSG will still be in the last 8.
Right.
It's different. It's new. It's cool. I suppose it's. I do kind of like the one-off thing. It's okay. You know, but it's once we hit the knockout phases, it just reverts to the old style. It's still, you don't want to be in that playoff round. You want to
that's
be.
What you don't want to be.
You don't want to be in that fucking thing. And
you don't want to be the bottom. There's like 16 teams making it into the knockout stage, but you don't want to be in that bottom 8 because you then have a additional round to go through.
Yeah, well, obviously you don't be relegated. That's the worst thing. But like I was saying, like with our points total right now, we would have to have. There would have to be an incredible set of circumstances, even with our point total now, not to qualify. Even just with 12, we might scrape top 10. We'd probably be top 10. And we've got 4 more games, so we only have to finish top 8 to get through.
Fairly bloody.
Imagine, we knocked Madrid. That's us 15. We're done, man. That you can play the kids from every game. What I was saying then, that means that if you had, say, a Man City on a Sunday and a Champions League game on a Wednesday, you can now go all in on that Man City game on the Sunday and know that any problems you have, it doesn't matter in that Champions League game because you're done, you're qualified.
We've got 2 Italian teams, and we've got 2 German teams, and we've got.
There'll be debuts for everybody. Tyler Morton, Trainioni, all these boys. I guarantee you, by the end of the season, these boys will have started a couple of Champions League games because we'll just be through.
They'll get if we were to win, they could get possible medals too by the number of games that they actually participate in.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah, some of the youngsters could.
Imagine that. Imagine being.
Didn't have it years ago when I was
20 years old. Having
when I was a kid, you had to have played in the actual final, even if you played in the semi and that you didn't get a medal years ago.
Yeah. So are you pro? Are you like optimistic?
On the fence. On the fence.
You're like Jamie. Okay, you're on the fence.
Because it's still new. It's still new. So, well, Jamie's always on the fence. I'm not sure which. Well, there's 2 Jamies. There's 2 Jamies in my life. There's one on YouTube and there's one in the real world. One has played the game. One has played the game and can talk about it. One just likes to talk about it.
One just likes to talk about it. I got you.
Which I know is all of us. I'm aware of the irony. That is all just on here talking. Yeah.
Are you? What is your stance? Are you for or against? Or I guess, or not for or against, I should say. Are you pro? This do you like this format, or are you on the fence like Brian and Jamie?
Because we're winning, and I just want to see us play it.
Yeah. There is that.
It's getting in the way, isn't it? We need to go straight from Villa into Southampton away, and then on to Madrid and City at home. That's what we needed, but we've got a bloody break instead to spoil our party.
Yeah.
Never mind, They could be in dreadful form when they return. Like, they've got 1 game. We've got 1 game before them, so they must. Yeah, they've only got 1 game before us. But City have got 2 games before us.
No, I brought this up because of what, obviously what I just said about Robbie and his rant. And I mean, he did go on like a somewhat nonsensical rant about it, about this format and about, he's like, oh, he said about how he was going to like save Judgment until the end of the until like to the end of the tournament, but he's just had enough, and he wants to make Judgment now. And I'm like, oh, is that possibly because he just lost? Is that possible?
Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
This guy's Arsenal.
Yeah, Robbie.
It's kind of like you
Robbie,
those people, right?
AFT Robbie.
Oh, okay. Like 12 man, you'll know these people. You know what they're like. It's kind of like they're those people that like you're at a gig or you're at a venue, you're at something you're doing, and you got these people and they come up and they complain about shit, and you're looking and going, you go out twice a year, don't you? Like this is like the first time you've been to a concert in 3 years. Like they're just coming up and complaining about basic shit. It's like Arsenal in Europe. It's just like you're so new to this shit, aren't you? Like they're such newbies. They're like, no, I don't like this. It's like, look, stop being so Arsenal about everything. Just show up, enjoy it, and go home. Okay, stop complaining about shit. This isn't, this ain't your place. You don't really belong here, and you're making it up. You don't get how it goes.
Comment.
Oh my God, man. Arsenal fans complaining about Europe. Just go and win some shit in Europe.
Just go and win it. Yeah, just go and win it. Just go and win.
Do you know what they're going to do?
Don't get how silly that sounds, how silly it looks.
The thing about Arsenal fans,
they're going to tell us. No, sorry, Lee. Do you know what they're going to do? They're going to get knocked out by Real Madrid, and they're going to start telling Liverpool fans how to deal with getting knocked out by Real Madrid. That's what they do. We'll be like, really?
That's hilarious.
Tell us how it feels. Yeah, tell us how it feels. Yeah. When you come up against a big team, against a big, fucking these guys, man.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yes, that is one of the major reasons why, because I've seen some City fans say the same. I'm just like, okay, if you were winning in this competition, I'm sure you would think different. But they're saying, oh, like the not being able to go back to your home grounds. I think this actual format is kind of It's definitely a different take. It obviously takes a lot to like wrap your head around. In that it's a different walk into the Champions League. But I actually have enjoyed the fact of knowing that we're going to face Real Madrid once. And that one time is going to be at Anfield. And I'm cool with it. Because I don't want to go to Real. I don't want to go to Real Madrid and have to take on them at in front of their home fans. I appreciate the fact that we'll be able to take care of business in front of our own fans at Anfield and move on,
The funniest thing is, though, dude, this guy's complaining about a setup, and this is how Arsenal in Europe, this is how these guys are just fucking idiots. It's set up to make it easier for big teams like Arsenal to qualify. That's literally how it's set up, and this moron is complaining about it because it's making it easier for his pathetic European weak ass side that just never shows up to have games like that, to fail in big games, and to still eventually qualify because, but you have Lask and you have Sparta Prague and you got 4 easy games. Just go and win them, Arsenal, you'll be okay. This guy doesn't get it. That's how they're European virgins. They just have no place in the game. He doesn't realize that it's set up to make it easier.
It's set up to favor him, to help him. Yeah.
And he's complaining about it.
And that's what's weird about it.
Take their ticket and give it to someone else. Just take their ticket away. Just give it to someone else because they just don't need to be there. They can go and complain about the FA Cup and talk about St. Totteringham's Day till the cows come home and leave European football to people who understand what it's all about.
the lack of ambition by them at 2-2, like on their own pitch recently. Do you know what I mean? It says it all about them. The most defensive display I can ever remember Liverpool side putting on was away in the new camp in 2001 in the semi-final of the UEFA Cup. On the way to that treble, we went to the new camp and we hardly went past the halfway line. Johan Cruyff said afterwards, Liverpool betrayed football tonight. And we did play really defensively. But like Arsenal fans have to watch that like all the time.
Yeah. No, and again, like when I say that I don't yeah. When I would prefer not to go to Real Madrid, I prefer the fact that this is set up where you're going to play 8 matches. You're going to play against 8 different teams, and it gives you no cover to say that you didn't play against some big team. It gives you no cover to say that you weren't given the opportunity to play against a big team. And I like the fact that you're going to have a lot of these mid, if not lower table teams, I'll call it that, are going to have opportunities to create some upsets. Very much, I guess maybe it's because, again, there are those that might say it's because I'm an American and the likes. And, you know, here in America, one of the biggest sporting events is the NCAA tournament for basketball, for instance. And in that NCAA tournament for basketball, there's these, you know, some of these big teams play these teams that they should just walk over, and they get beat. And that shakes up the entire tournament. And like, it brings some real excitement into a lot of how far the journey can go for some of these smaller Cinderella teams, is what we call them here, you know. And I'm actually interested to see that. That's all.
But you don't even need to go there. We have it. It's called the FA Cup.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's the FA Cup. That's why I hate people who say they hate the FA Cup. That's what football is all about.
It's a good shout. That's an excellent shout.
A Cinderella story. A non-league team or a small team can get a good draw, and next thing you know, they're in the newspapers. Lee will tell you. It's a huge thing. The BBC
JK would have told
to the ground. Yeah,
I mean, Coventry City made a nice little run. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing when a small team goes far in the FA Cup. All the TV cameras go there. You know, they're playing Man City. It's huge. That's it, and that's why I hate people say they hate the FA Cup, because it gives it's an open competition, and like you said, it gives the opportunities. Like, and it's happened to us. Northampton Town. We've had some famous
for a few more months, didn't
it? Yeah,
it's
huge.
Best has ever won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been knocked out by the small clubs, and it's still, you go to those clubs and the pictures are on the wall and all of that. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. That's small teams.
Yeah,
getting a one-off, like you say, if they play now. Again, anybody that's in the Champions League in their country, they're probably the biggest team, but to us, they're small teams. But even then, like some Slovenian team or Slovak team, or even like a smaller European team goes and beats Madrid. Like Madrid now are getting beaten by PSG, or getting beaten by random teams. So yeah, I suppose you just have to ask a fan of every level of team.
Mm-hmm.
Because for us, like elite type Liverpool fans, well, it's boring now. We've qualified because obviously we're going to get to the quarterfinals.
Okay.
But for those lower teams, it's like, well, what do you think of? Does it give you a better chance to get up?
Fantastic question. Fantastic point. And why I'm saying it's a fantastic point is there is a follow-up, because I did hear again Rory say something to this extent. And I think it was Adam McKenna was speaking on it as well. Rory Jennings, the Chelsea supporter, and Adam McKenna, the Red Devil supporter. But they were talking about the fact that, both of them were talking about the place that they're in Europe right now. And, he's saying how Chelsea, if they don't win the tournament that they're in, then it's a real knock to their status and their abilities, considering the level of European teams that they're playing. Red Devils have the same perspective, is that, you know, they should be able to compete and win this Europa tournament that they're in, because they consider themselves to be one of the top teams in that tournament. Why I'm making the segue is that there are some teams like ourselves that might not look, and we were in Europa last year, that might look at it as it's Champions League or nothing at all. But there are teams out there that do see Europa, or even now the Conference League, as a major accomplishment, you know, and especially outside of England, that is the case when it comes to those tournaments. That is still a major accomplishment to really do well in those tournaments. Now, obviously, we want to put our settings on Champions League because of the history and the sheer fact that that's just the bar that we set for ourselves. But it was interesting because Rory did push back against Adam Kenna, who did say, you know, oh, he's basically belittling the Europa, belittling Conference League, you know, and Rory was basically making a point of saying, you know, like,
oh, I hate those people.
Yeah, there are. It's you know, those tournaments have history in itself. You know, those tournaments are still a you know, Conference League a little bit less. I get it because it's more of a new established tournament, but like a newer established tournament. But still,
I remember Ipswich were in the UEFA Cup against AZ Alkmaar, and quite a few of them AZ Alkmaar players then come to play in England. Johnny Metcalf for Nottingham Forest and a couple of others from the same team. But they were a good side, Alkmaar, then in the early 80s. But so was Bobby Robson's Ipswich.
Well, Lee, I'll ask you then first. Because Scholes, it was a panel, but it was or the two on the show was Jamie and Scholes. Scholes said, "Do you think?" And this is what he does think this way, but do you think it's a bit of English arrogance to have that?
Always got, United never got out in the UEFA Cup. They never got anywhere near it, mate. But they did win the Europa League under Marino.
Well, he was making the point too about the fact that, look, out of all, you could say what you want about a lot of the brilliance of the Premier League, but I mean, there's other teams that do win a heavy share of these European tournaments.
That Cup Winners' Cup under Fergie, like before he started winning the league, was only the second ever European trophy, and that was like 1991 or something. It was only the second ever European trophy.
Yeah, guess what? All the time. Look at these boys all the time. Look at their numbers, right? When did they win them? 99 times out of 100, it's post-Premier League. After the Premier League started. When the money comes in. When the money comes in. There's only one team in England that can talk about European football as far as I'm concerned. That's us. We dominated it when you had to go abroad with no fucking advantages. There were bigger teams in Italy and Spain, everywhere. We dominated Europe. You know, we wrote the history of Europe. There's Real Madrid, there's us, Bayern, AC Milan, but we are the only club in England that went and dominated Europe in any way before it was the richest league in the world and all of it, and every other league in the world was.
Remember Fergie's
now they've come along, but just Lee, quick, like you said, all these people, like, they had nothing. They had bits and pieces, tin pot trophies here and there, little appearances. Villa stepped up for a year. Nottingham Forest stepped up twice, right? But we are European royalty. I don't say that as we are European royalty, and that's built before all the money came into the game. All these boys that did shit afterwards, it's all built off the back of Premier League money, and it took them forever, and they couldn't sustain it. We did it year. Look what Paisley did. Bang, back 3 bloody European Cups. Nobody does that. Ancelotti does that at Real Madrid now. We are on. Nobody can talk to us about European football. Absolutely nobody.
Fitted that mould, didn't he, for Paisley? All the signings he bought, it was an impeccable team. But we did lose in Europe. You know, we lost to Vidzu Lotz, we lost to Dinamo Tbilisi, we lost to CSKA Sofia.
We've lost more finals than most teams have been in, dude. We've lost more finals than most teams have been in. They'd love to have our record just appearing. There's a brilliant story today. I'm not sure if you've seen this. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but this is a brilliant segue on this. It's an interview with. It's not an interview. It's an extract from Hugo Lloris's book, and he talks about the Champions League final when they were playing us.
Yeah.
And he said how he realized he was basically at a loser club, a club that would accept second best, because on the day of the final or the week of the final, all of the team were given aviator watches, Rolex aviator watches,
Mm.
And
Okay.
by Daniel Levy, really expensive watches. The team that was going to the final.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a nice watch. Yeah.
So engraved on the back is, his name, Hugo Lloris, and Champions League finalist. And he looked at that and he went, "What the fuck?" So it's basically like before you go to the Super Bowl, your owner gives you a ring and going, engraved in it goes,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you
Nice
won or
try.
lost, you got there.
Yeah.
It was like, he was like, he said, who engraves finalist? But he literally said, who engraves finalist on the back of a watch? Why would he not wait and then say winner? He just said basically what that told us was the club had accepted that getting to the final was good enough. Now he said Daniel didn't realize it. He thought he was doing a good thing. But he said there's players that looked at that and went, I've never seen anything like that before. Like you either get a winner's watch or you don't get a watch. But what it was, he said what that said to the club was that getting to the final was good enough. And he said he realized at that stage he was at a club that just to get there was good enough. It was incredible insight into the mind of the football. He said basically, he's like, I couldn't believe it. And he said, I've never worn that watch. I can never look at it. Because he was saying that says failure.
Yeah.
It was amazing insight. It's a great, it's from his book. And he just said, as soon as I turned over and I saw that and I went, I'm playing for a loser club. The club that accepts second best. It was like, fuck, man. He was like, and he was saying, Levy doesn't know this. He just said Levy thought he was doing an amazing thing.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
The point he was saying was either give us a watch saying Champions League winner, well done, or don't give us watches, kind of thing. Yeah. It was just the idea that.
Did you say he gave that before they played the game?
Exactly. It was before the game, so it was like,
that's
well
weird.
done for getting it.
Maybe if
I'll send you the link.
He puts it better, and you're just trying to say, hey, you know what? Like you lost, but keep your heads up, go for it again. Blah blah blah.
And it wouldn't, and don't engrave
that you gave the effort
Champions League loser on the back.
Yeah,
they've run to the final.
That is weird to give it before the game.
And it just said finalist, and he was like, "Who does that? Nobody does that." It doesn't matter if you win or lose. We got there. And he's like, "No, dude." He was like,
That's like a participation trophy, basically.
Exactly, it's the participation trophy. He literally handed a World Cup winner a participation trophy before the final.
Yeah, albeit it's a nice participation trophy. By the way,
he said, "I can't." He said, "I've never worn it. I can't even look at it." The
I'm
guy's
surprised he didn't sell it. To be honest with you,
he's won a World Cup. It's probably stuck in a drawer somewhere. Like in 20 years, it'll be like. But I just thought that encapsulated everything from the mind of a footballer. It was so cutting. It's like this is how what's the word? Motivated some of these guys are. That's how you're thinking. Like fuck that. And he just like he said that he was. You can tell he was triggered by massively. He was like, I gotta get out of this place. They're all losers here. You get a trophy just for showing up.
Yeah, that's a wild one. Coming up at the top of the hour for the second hour of the show. There's a couple different things I did want to go over to still before we allow for everyone to rock and roll.
We're going to talk about Noel Gallagher. You want to talk about Noel Gallagher?
I wasn't planning on it, but okay. What happened with Noel Gallagher?
You didn't. I'm surprised it's gone under the radar. You didn't see this. No,
I saw
no.
something. I saw his
Lee. Do you know what I'm
picture.
talking about?
I don't, mate. No, I haven't got a clue.
Okay. It's funny that nobody knows this, or not nobody knows, but I thought it would have been. And it's happened. This has happened. So I've already seen an article written about how little people are actually talking about this. Maybe it's because Trump got elected, or I don't know. It was yesterday's news or so.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a co-commentator on TNT for Man City versus Sporting Lisbon. Noel Gallagher was a co-commentator on TNT, which is BT
No way.
Champions League.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I'm sure he enjoyed that display that he got to see.
Now,
I
think they do that, they do that thing, where I was talking about that I hate, where they actually have, they have a main, obviously they have a commentator, they have a co-commentator, and then they have this third guy that chimes in and out.
Right.
I think he was the third guy. He wasn't the main the main guy, but it was actually, he was he was there as the third commentator guy.
Right.
I haven't heard it yet. It's just oh my god, please.
Yeah.
There's hope for you yet. I mean, hope for me
yet.
In what way?
I don't know. Maybe he was out there talking about the Wonderwall or something like that, or something. I don't know. But that is funny.
Can you imagine? Who would we have? Right. Okay. So say who would be
we have. You know who we have? We could have have Calvin Harris maybe.
Oh, stop that.
Why?
No, because he'd have to be a real full-on, Noel Gallagher's a real full-on, over-the-top City fan. So we'd have to have a proper...
Calvin Harris does really like... He is a Liverpool fan, but...
Yeah.
I got you. He's not necessarily over the top the way that the Gallaghers are. I agree with that. Yeah, you could bring James Bond in to do it. He would love to do it, actually. I'm sure. Daniel Craig, right?
You can't afford me, Pops. You can't afford me.
Paddy Pickett, that's a good shout. I don't know if he's necessarily as world-renowned, but I got that. Nicki Minaj. Okay, that's an interesting shout.
Let's do. Yeah, get Nicki on. If Nicki's an LFC fan, get her. I don't need no Taylor Swift shit. Yeah, get me some Nicki. Yeah.
There you go.
I want Guy Mowbray, Jamie Carragher, and Nicki Minaj to do.
Well, I mean, Chris.
Daniel Craig's a good one. I've seen that one there. Yeah, Daniel Craig's a Liverpool fan. Get him to do it.
Yeah, Fassbender, Fassbender, or isn't Fassbender? Or he's the guy who played Magneto in X-Men.
Michael Fassbender. Yeah, he's he's Irish, but he's also German, which is a bit weird. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of someone that's obnoxious as Noel Gallagher. We used to have Ian Brody, but he's not obnoxious at all.
No.
But I hope they don't.
Oh wait, I know who we could have. I know who I would love to see actually.
K-Mac?
No. Yeah. K-Mac, yeah.
Diana Ross.
No. I said K-Mac. I'm sorry. No. I'll do K-Mac. I wouldn't mind seeing you commentate, but I would like to see.
Oh, I know a
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, make it happen. Make it happen.
Mother effing snakes off this mother effing, going crazy.
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson in character would be.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson in character.
In character awesome. As Jules from Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Right. I want him with snakes on the plane character. That's what I want.
Yes, even better. I haven't actually seen. I haven't seen Snakes on a Plane. I haven't seen that yet, actually.
Yeah.
Samuel L.
Jackson is my shout. I don't know. Stephen Warnock would be just absolutely. I probably have to mute the sound on that one. But yeah, that would be my shout. Samuel L. Jackson.
The one from Django. Oh, that would be a bit rough. I'd say either that or what the hell is his name? Oh God. Is it Ornell? Oh, is it Ornell Jackson? Ornell Jackson from Jackie Brown. Carthy plays.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. That's a good shout.
That would be cold as he'd be cold as
He'd be
ice.
cold
then.
as he'd be cold as ice in that one. Yeah.
The ref would give a red card.
Maybe
He'd disappear from the box for 10 minutes. Then he come back and go, taking care.
Or maybe he comes on as he puts an eye patch on, walks on as like Nick Cage.
Oh, Stephen Graham. There you go. That's a good one. That's
Nick
a good
Cage,
one. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Nick Fury. I meant not Nick Cage. Or someone else. Nick Fury.
Shouldn't come to Liverpool on the 51st state. He went on like one of them London talk shows.
I didn't mean Nick Cage. I meant Nick Fury. Nick Fury is who I meant.
All places to make a film, and he went, "Why? Like, what's wrong with it?" And he went, "Oh, it's like, have you ever been there?" Which I enjoyed that.
I don't know if you get much better than Samuel Jackson. Would be awesome to have as like a commentator. In character, he'd be awesome. In character, he'd be awesome.
Our corner is a place to visit.
You bring Pam Grier with them? Oh, then I'm definitely in on
Yeah,
that.
but see, people need to keep it on track here. They have to be certified Liverpool fans because we're up against Noel Gallagher here right now.
I'd take Samuel Jackson in a Noel Gallagher
me
fight.
too. Me too. I think he's our strongest shout so far.
Or who played in the movie with them?
Robbie Carlyle.
Yeah, that could be a shout.
If it's Robbie Carlyle
he's not down from a fight.
I'm not sure if it's from the character when he played an actual Liverpool fan in Cracker. If you've seen it, this is before it became. He was a psycho Liverpool fan. So.
I mean, he was also a psycho in Trainspotting too.
But he kind of took, but he played this guy before he played Begbie. The guy, Begbie is a psycho, but if you've never seen Cracker, the guy that he plays in Cracker is just as much of a fucking. There's an amazing scene in that they shot at Old Trafford live. It's a real scene. They would, and Robbie Carlyle goes right into the middle of the Man United fans at the Stretford end. And sings Liverpool's. It's that scene alone is worth watching that for. That's on YouTube, by the way. Anyone's never seen it. If you search YouTube,
he's in with the Man United fans.
Yeah. It's brilliant. It's amazing. Yeah, and
is Jeff Goldblum a Red fan too?
Yeah, one of them says to him, "Get out of here, you robbing scout." Oh, sorry.
It's brilliant.
No,
that scene is so real. It's so fucking real, though. Honestly, it really is. Yeah.
There's a fella from Emmerdale Farm who said it. Like, but he wasn't.
Don't ruin it, Lee. Don't ruin it for people.
Is Jeff Goldblum a Liverpool fan? I just wanted to know if that's what I saw. Someone put that in there. Or someone just saying Jeff Goldblum. He'd be a wild. That'd be a wild.
Even if he is a Liverpool
commentator,
fan,
Jeff Goldblum's an interesting character.
To say the least. I hope he is a Liverpool fan, but it's the other guy, Liam Neeson, maybe.
You know what?
Mike Myers. Mike Myers would be good, actually.
Yeah, Liam Neeson would be good.
Seen
I have a particular set of skills.
Seen a really young Jeff Goldblum recently in the first.
Goldblum is hilarious. Jeff Goldblum is
just a hilarious voice. I got you.
This is one of like the errant youths. Seen him dead young, like
Angelina Jolie. There you go. I don't know.
I think she is, yeah. She is.
Oh, that's cool. That's an interesting.
Those films are hilarious, aren't they? I love that.
To be honest, no, I just think if we're going for like a kind of a comedy angle, Mike Myers is a genuinely massive Liverpool fan. Like he's a
that would be good. That would be good.
He'd be really good.
That would be good.
Yeah, he could break out a few,
voices here and there. You wouldn't know who was like actually there with them.
Yeah, he'd be good. I'd actually like to see that. I actually really want to see that.
Yeah,
Mike Myers. I'm voting for Myers.
And he said, because his parents are from here, like he said, we loved it from afar, watching it on telly, like. But
if you're gonna do that, I guess Mike Myers is good. John Oliver would be a good shout.
John
Yeah.
Oliver on main comms. John
Okay.
Oliver being the main commentator guy, actually
We
trying
need.
to be.
We should do a celebrity. We should figure
And-
out a celebrity. Let's figure out
Yeah.
the celebrity.
And Mike
our
Myers on
celebrity
co-com.
commentators if we're gonna have them take over. the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. No, that's
So
what
we
we should
have
do. We
John
should have John
Oliver on
Oliver
the,
on
as
main
the
comms
as the main. Okay.
and
Yeah.
Mike Myers on co-coms with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, there you go.
Interviewing
Yeah,
people on the sidelines.
John Powers.
Well done. Well done. Well done. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Angelina Jolie as the sideline commentator, but
Well, she could do the dressing room afterwards, if you know what I mean.
no, I don't. But okay, let's move on.
She
And go on.
I am fairly surprised that a major channel gave Noel Gallagher co-commentator, whether it was like one of 3 commentators or not. It's still quite strange that I've never seen anything
Mhm.
like that. That I can
Yeah, it's
think.
shit. It's shit.
shocked
I
me
hope
a
they
lot.
don't do it again.
Yeah,
They better not
Did I
do
say
it again.
Jamie Oliver. I said John Oliver. I didn't say Jamie.
God,
Oliver.
no. No, they really better. They better not do that again. That's all I can say. And to be honest, TNT, if you were going to do that, at least get Liam Gallagher.
Yeah,
Don't get the smug little Noel Gallagher. Get the entertaining guy. Get Liam Gallagher too. He's just as big. a fan. They missed. That's the trick that they missed there. Nobody wants it, but if you were going to do it, at least get bloody Liam.
if it's worth doing, do it properly. Like that would have
If
been
it's worth do it, get Liam.
to see. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Mel C. Okay.
No, because I've seen Noel Gallagher
Okay.
stop in the middle of concerts and slag off Liverpool and Liverpool fans. Like I've seen footage of him stopping
I bet he
in
does.
his high flying.
bet he
Yeah, he's a prick. Like so, at least get Liam on. You might get a bit of fun out of him.
Yeah.
But
You
no,
know,
apparently-
it's an issue when the only thing they don't agree on almost anything. The only thing they do agree on is City. So I mean, that shows
overcharging
you.
their fans.
That goes to show you two guys that are questionable at best.
Apparently, he was
That.
because we know they lost, like they scored 2 goals, but apparently he was going on about how easy City were finding it in the first half, and like after 49 minutes, they're 3-0 or 3-1 down or something. So yeah,
Orton really.
take the stinky opinions and
after
go
the-
write a shit fucking T-Rex ripoff.
Yeah, after the half-time break, Orton really
Speaking
came.
of
Didn't he like
Manchester are up 1-0 currently.
So yeah, but while we're talking about, you wanted to talk about York.
Chelsea. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna have to write that one down. Actually,
that York?
so I can get that one in.
York Andy.
I'm gonna send. I'll send a little letter to TNT and say, can you bring on for the next Liverpool game these three people as commentators?
Yeah, but like we're talking about that game, so you wanted to talk about Gyökeres.
Yeah, what's his nationality? I don't know.
Kirkes?
Swedish. He's Swedish.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Victor Gyökeres. Okay.
Oh, you wanted to talk about? Okay, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you wanted to. You were saying earlier on.
Yeah. I had him on the list of things to talk about as well.
Just while we were on
because
that,
right now
City,
he's very, very popular. He's actually doing something kind of. I like the celebration. Actually, I think what the celebration is, it's like something like that, but it's like a reference to
what was that?
What?
I missed what you did. Do it again.
Oh, he goes like that.
Oh, is that Bane?
Yeah,
that's Bane,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Excellent.
He's like the Bane of football, basically. He's going as.
Yeah.
And I think like his girlfriend was doing it.
Hey, Nolante.
The bane of Pep's life.
What?
The bane of Pep's life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't.
It's only three losses. I forgot about the Spurs one. There's the Spurs one as well, isn't there?
Well, I was going to say, what I was going to say is, yeah, Victor Gyökeres was someone that I was going to talk about because Sporting did get a victory over City, which is an important victory. We also saw Villa take an L as well. I know that they're talking about watching. YouTube is very, very astute as to now they must monitor whoever we're playing next because that's who they suggest. Because I've never seen I don't think I've ever seen a Villa fan channel on my suggestion list from YouTube. But all of a sudden, I woke up this morning and there was like 3 different Villa channels, or 2 at least. One was questionable as to whether it was.
I missed
That's
it. What score was the Villa Bruges?
They got bet 1-0.
That
is like
1-0 in the 7th final.
Yeah, that is the shittest blues song of all time. That's literally the shittest blues song. I woke up this morning, Villa fan channels on my TV. That's just
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. Little, like, BB King, or or.
Can we just talk about this guy? Because this is crazy, right? This is crazy, right? He plays for oh bloody hell, Brahma Kiarma. Okay. Then he goes to Brighton for 3 years, right? He's out in Sao Paulo. Then he goes to Swansea on loan. Then he goes to Coventry on loan. Then he comes back to Coventry. Victor, right? Yeah, he gets 38 goals and 91 for Coventry between 21 and 23, right? So he's only ever played for Brom Kiarma, right? Brighton, San Pauli on loan, 7 and 26. Swansea on loan, 0 and 11. Coventry back on loan, 3 and 19. Then he goes to Coventry back again, gets 38 and 91. That's pretty good. Then he goes to Sporting, and he's got 45 goals in 43 appearances. Like, whatever happened in around 2023 to this guy, he's gone from being like 7-0-3-0 goals, going to playing 43 games and scoring 45 goals. This is mental. What's happening?
Mental, yeah.
What you reckon of him compared to Cowan in his height of forward, like that?
Brighton probably wishes that they just basically never given up on him. Basically, I would assume, because he
never played for them. They signed him in 2018. They left him go in 2021. He has 0 appearances for Brighton. Never played.
That's wild. And would they get like 18 million or something like that?
Yeah, they loaned him out 3 times. So his last loan from Brighton was Coventry. So then Coventry bought him. He scored 38 and 91. And I know a lot of them were back-ended. So, and then he goes into 45 and 43 is just insane. And he's 26 now. He's prime. He's peak. He's not a young player. He's not an old player. He's absolutely peak.
I think we need to get in on that action. Team up with the players we've got in wide positions.
I mean, if he doesn't go in January, he's going in the summer. It's just where does he go? Who buys him? You don't stay there. Like,
26 years old, will be turning 27 this summer.
June, I think. Next, in June, next. So he's
right at that cusp. That's a player that I don't see us going in for. Simply because of the age thing that we spoke of earlier.
Money.
Yeah.
Too big money, I think.
Yeah. Because you got to recognize the fact that Portuguese teams are well versed in making a good penny off of their players.
Well, let's just check this shit.
Well versed. Go ahead. What's up?
No, you go ahead. I'm going to have a look at the.
Yeah. They're well versed in that, and I was also going to bring up. Let's see I saw Spice Girls in the background there.
100 million release clause is 100 million.
100 million. Okay.
Yeah. Market value 70. Release clause 100.
They do that for a lot of the players. That's just like the what's his name too? I'm gonna go blank on his name. Luis plays. He's a DM too.
And Florentino Luis.
Yeah. I believe that's it, right? Yeah, plays in Portugal.
Yeah.
was highly coveted, was coming towards the end of his contract. They re-upped on his contract, then put him on like some 100 million euros or whatever, release clause, and again that ship then sailed. So big up, Cedric. Travel safe too, by the way. Travel safe as always.
Coventry bought him for 1.2, sold him for 24 million.
Mm-hmm.
So 100 million.
He's the talk of the town right now because he's scoring in bunches. And the sheer fact that they were the team to really put a hurting on Manchester City, the current champions of Champions League.
In terms of style, though, just in terms of style, I haven't seen it, but I've heard people say he's people I not 100% trust, but like they're saying he's more of he's a number 9, like he's a Darwin, or he's a Haaland. He's not a Firmino. He's a Shearer. He's not a he's an out and out number 9 type guy. So
he's not a false 9. He's not a
he's got one
9.
job.
Yeah,
sticking in the back of the net kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're going to cost money. Yeah. Do we go there and break that clause 100 million? Absolutely no chance.
No. But would you see a Arsenal doing that?
Oh yeah, Arsenal will buy him. I wouldn't be at all surprised because Arsenal don't have a number 9.
That'll be interesting if you do that.
Yeah, Arsenal would do that. They're Arsenal, that's not beyond.
I saw Isaac was in the chat. Would you go for him over Isaac? Having that he hasn't, at least Isaac's been Premier League proven. If you're trying to make that acquisition.
No, I don't know what these things, but 100% on it. Like even before Gyökeres came to the party, I had my eye on Isak, if you know what I mean. And it's
okay.
Like you said, if we just take the injury thing and put it to one side, which I think he's shown he's okay this year, Isak, and like you said, he is prem proven. Like this Gyökeres guy, because like we were just talking about it. Brom, Kjarna, Brighton, Sampoli, and he's lit up now. Is he a 2-season thing? Is it? Clearly, you don't keep up a score rate of more than 1 a game. You just don't do that. That's Messi, Ronaldo numbers. Even if you got 3/4 of that, you'd still have one of the best in the world, but it's still a risk. Whereas Isak, a little bit different type of player, not just an out and out number 9. So if you said to me you have 90 million, you can buy one, I'd just go towards Isak.
Okay.
Just about, how many goals did he score for Coventry? If I remember, I don't have it open, but it was something like 38 in 91 Red Armchair, and that was on his second
periods.
That was over 3 years. I think 3 years. So, and then he just goes to Sporting and just does messy numbers.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, better than the goal of the game. Literally better than the goal of the game. That's just unheard of. That's not normal on any level.
Okay.
Doesn't even take into account assists or anything like that, which I'm sure he's got a few of.
Yeah, the Portuguese league's no joke, as Sporting reminded City. There's a lot of good players there, isn't there? So, there has been a lot of, like, João Felix came out of Portugal, didn't he? And he was all right at Madrid, João Felix, wasn't he? But he's gone to some
That's the skill, picking the right one. That's the skill.
You realize that Arsenal, and we're talking about Arsenal getting some reinforcements. Do you realize in that game they had 46 crosses, 13 corners? This is set piece FC, basically, is what they like to call themselves, right? 13 crosses, 13 corners, and 20 shots in that game. They had 46 crosses, 13 corners, 20 shots in the game that they weren't able to score, and then had Arteta at the end of the game bemoaning referee calls and saying about how one needs to be how they should have gotten a penalty and how they shouldn't have gotten a penalty. How they should have gotten a penalty for them, but they shouldn't have gotten a penalty against themselves.
George Graham's Arsenal sides were very dependent upon corners, as I remember it. It's not unknown to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Before.
No, they were trying to.
Inter did a job on them.
Yeah, Inter definitely did a job on them. Definitely.
It went from, but that went from one. I think
it's not like Inter's bad. It's not like Inter's like some
No, Inter's a top side.
Small-minded, exactly. Some small-minded.
No, but they went like that. Apparently, like they had that penalty call basically that didn't go their way, which
Yeah, it was where the goalkeeper came out
like 2 minutes later.
Punched the ball. He punched the ball, and then his follow-through hit the head of the player.
Yeah,
and they were saying, "Oh, that needs to be a penalty."
But I think it was like 2 minutes later that Inter got their penalty. I think that's why they're so pissed off.
Yeah,
because it basically 2 minutes later. So, but both calls are correct,
Yeah, that needs a because it's funny. They're screaming for that to be a penalty. I wonder if they had the same chest when when Curtis got taken out. I wonder, did they have the same chest?
I really enjoyed the win away. When Bobby scored that angled header from the corner of the area. Remember, we had a corner, and Bobby was like on the corner of the area near speaking from, and he just glanced that angled header in from a really tasty angle. I enjoyed that win because that goal deserved to win a game. That header deserved to win a game. It was that good.
Yeah.
It's just favorite later moment from Bobby's LFC career, was that one.
Yeah. This is funny settings, man. Funny settings from some of our Gooners. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting that they were all up in arms about that, but yet they didn't make the same plight when it happened to Curtis. Our boy Curtis. And then again, great game by Curtis. Real quick, do you think Curtis is going to get the start against Villa this weekend? We'll be doing a review, or actually a preview show for the game tomorrow for you guys. And, we'll obviously bring up some Liverpool news and the likes. We'll also be doing a roll call for the Villa game because I know it's a pretty late game actually, right? What time does it start for you guys?
Yeah,
it's a night game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's at 8 p.m. start, I think, or something like that, right?
Yeah, 8 p.m. UK. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 8 p.m. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
We had Curtis. That was it. I don't know. I think he probably percentage-wise, I'm more certain that he'll bring Dom back in than I am that Curtis will start again. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
I think Dom back in though.
No, that's nice. That's nice. Are you EST?
No, I'm not. But I know that. Yeah, that's Eastern Standard Time. That's like New York. That's like the East Coast.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What are you? I know there's Mountain Time.
I'm just Arizona time.
Oh yeah, you don't change. Yeah,
you're
because you've got guns and things. So yeah, nobody's telling you what time it is. Yeah, I get it.
No one tells us what time.
Nobody tells you what time it is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Let's see. Too many starts in quick succession for Curtis. Red Armchair supporter saying might not be a good idea with his injury record. Okay. His injury record is a weird one. It's normally not because of he gets weird injuries. They're always normally in training or something too.
Okay.
He just needs to keep himself fit now, free of injuries, touch wood for the end of the season, you know what I mean?
Did I miss a question? Was there something like should Curtis start or? So,
I was just
like,
saying, do you start Curtis or do you start Dom?
Oh.
I was just asked like some of
Okay.
the, because I know that like I did, do my rounds on other content creators' pages and leaving comments on their pages as well. I do my best to try to represent the channel, and I do my certain best to represent the fervor that I have in supporting our players. And I was trying to make a point about saying I was making a point about how like it's very interesting how I was told that Dutch players, it wasn't just individuals. We were being told that Dutch players in general are not good to have on your team or something like that.
I'd love to meet the guy that doesn't like to. I'd love to meet the
you have met the guy that said that
football
statement,
fan that doesn't think
You've
Dutch
met the
players
fan. You've
good.
met the fan
Who?
before.
Who?
I'm not going to say online.
You can tell me backstage. I mean,
maybe I'll do that, but you have met him.
There's no talk about Dutch people being very relaxed or something. Is that what it is?
I don't know. That's like saying you don't.
It was more of like the Dutch. It was during the again. I know that this name is divisive, but it was more of when Pep Linders was getting a lot of like flack and how his style.
Yeah, he's not a
they were
player.
like lumping in. They're lumping in Cody. They're lumping in Gravenberch. They obviously separated Virgil van Dijk from that conversation, but they were talking about how Dutch players aren't conducive to having good careers in the Premier League and likes similar to their style play and the likes. It was just like a weird take. Very weird.
They are too chilled out as a people. Virgil's a bad example. He's too chilled out to be a good player, Virgil.
Virgil's not at all. Virgil comes across as being chilled out. I guarantee you, Virgil is not chilled. Virgil
it wasn't you, Max. It wasn't you, Max.
He's passive aggressive. Virgil is very passive aggressive. He seems like he's chilled, but he's constantly disappointed in people. He's always looking around at. Like, have you ever seen like one of my favorite things is when some guy comes up against Virgil, like or whatever. They're playing for a different team.
Right.
And they try and buy a foul off him and they fall over and Virgil just looks at him going, oh, come on. You can do better. Just the look of disappointment that he has on his face going,
oh, was that the one where the one where he's looking down?
Oh, he does it every week, man. He does it every week.
The one who's looking down at Bruno at the end of
he does it every week.
Bruno tried to get the foul call.
Yeah, no, that's a classic example. He does it he just looks at other players going, you actually tried that?
Yeah, get your
come on.
It's like I feel embarrassed.
You're better than that. It's like one of those. You're better than that. Come on,
really. And then when they go, he has that thing where they go and look at the referee, and he looks back at it going, "What? You're a pro? Come on, seriously."
Yeah.
He just has that look of like the big brother disappointment look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
He just puts people down. He's not chilled at all. He's always looking at people going, that's not cool. He's always on the watch,
As far as overacting when foul goes, that Iari for Brighton was some piece of work. He's the first.
You didn't like him at all, did you? You didn't like him at all. You remember watching that? We were watching it.
Every 5 seconds he was throwing himself around, wasn't he? Like he'd been shot. No, I didn't like him much. I'll watch him with interest to see if he's like that in other games, which I assume he will be.
Well, look, I think he has calls to make because he's probably brought in a couple of guys who he thought he was bringing in rotationally, who have now kind of put a stamp down. Maybe not so much Jones, but maybe
do you start? How about this, Brian? Real quick, do you start? What does he do with his left wing now? I don't
there you go. That's another one.
But I mean,
that's another one.
What do you do about this left wing situation? Because he has 2 players that are in phenomenal form right now.
And we spoke about let's not forget invisible option. I keep saying invisible option. Invisible option C, where you start both like you did.
Yeah, sure.
There's also, we talked about it last night. Could he do that again? Could he do what he did against Thing? And Darwin doesn't start, and it's Diaz in the middle again.
Sure.
Yeah. How
Absolutely.
do we? Like I said, nice headache for slot. Exactly. Well, it is, but it's a pain in the arse one too. You want your best players on the pitch, and if two of them have to play in the same spot, it's like, if he had here, he'd be tearing it out. Like, can I just have one of these guys on the right? Or, well, we've Salah, but, it's like typical thing. Your two best players when you're a small country, they're left backs.
Yeah, I'd love to see Virgil play against Pierre Van Hooijdonk, sort of like time travel scenario, like to see him come up again. Van Hooijdonk was a good striker. I like Pierre Van Hooijdonk. He scored some classy goals at times.
Are they up 8-0 already? Jeez, that's crazy. That is crazy. Chelsea's up 8-0.
Max, I hate the Dutch international sub.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's a weird one. No, I'm just reading Max. I hate the Dutch international sub bench. Okay.
Chelsea.
Can you expand on that one a bit? That's a bit of a weird one, Max. Can you expand on that?
Chelsea's squad to the other teams in the Conference League. Like it's not fair, is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
they shouldn't be in there at all. No, yeah, they shouldn't be down there at all.
That's theirs. That's they want it. Like,
yeah, and if they win that,
for West Ham, like,
yeah, if they win that, I'm assuming that guarantees them Champions League next year. Probably. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no.
Winning the Conference League?
What?
I think it might get you at least.
Conference League only guarantees you. Conference League guarantees you.
Europa League.
Conference League guarantees you Europa, and then Europa guarantees.
Well, keep an eye on it because you know the way they change the stuff all the time. So.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
Chelsea fans might not look at it as being much like, but West Ham were well pleased, weren't they? I was pleased for them. Something for West Ham.
Oh, I thought it was great at the end. They were playing. Who were they playing in? They're playing Feyenoord, wasn't it? Kaipa.
Mm-hmm.
That's some stadium, man. That is some stadium. You tell those people it didn't mean it. You go. I was in Rotterdam. Yeah, in Rotterdam. Yeah. You go and tell those people that competition doesn't mean anything. Look at the people going absolutely nuts at that West Ham. One of the best atmospheres I've seen in years is at that. I think it's Feyenoord. No, PSV. Oh God, no.
PSV,
I'm not sure, but yeah, PSV versus West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
really good. Like, so you got to tell those fans, oh, this doesn't mean anything. Fuck you, Chelsea fan.
Yeah,
there's a thing called the football pyramid, and if you take away the bottom layers because they're not good enough for you, well, guess what? The top collapses.
Chelsea are bound.
It's a Jenga.
Like quite a good European history by the time they get to the final. If teams that have been to European finals before, bigger ones in their history.
But these Chelsea fans, he's out there basically deriding and slagging off all these clubs, and most of these clubs are the ones that he sends, or they send their players out on loan to. Those things to make them better players. But he just thinks that there should be just basically. I guarantee you, this guy only watches the Premier League. He only watches the Champions League if Chelsea are in it, or maybe the later stages, and he probably only watches England games or finals, World Cup finals.
Yeah,
he doesn't realize that if you take away all those things that exist below, guess what? The rest collapses. It can't exist in a bubble on its own. Yeah. But he's too good for that. These people, man, sometimes I think the game's too good for them. I really do.
Yeah.
They don't understand it at all. They don't understand where it comes from and what it takes to sustain it. But they only want to watch Super Sunday games against Real Madrid. Like, I guarantee you, this guy wants a Super League.
Possibly
he wants a Super League. He doesn't want relegation promotion. He just wants Chelsea playing PSG and Real Madrid and those guys every week. That's all he wants.
Well, yeah, I was trying to find where the statements, but there's a bunch. I definitely went at Don Cersei, aka Don Hussam. I definitely went at some other people out there that have been incredibly harsh to our players. But
What does you make of Diaz's hat-trick? Because he calls him, didn't
you know what? You know what's wild about it, and that's the thing, is that why it's like there are those out there that have gone all of a sudden missing. You'll recognize it because those people don't want to get onto the forums, because the first question that you'll probably end up seeing or they'll have to engage in is, well, where's your criticism now of Curtis? You know, shout out to some of the uncles out there. You know, where's your criticism now of Diaz? You know, shout out to my Coppish brothers, who I definitely respect and appreciate their opinions on. Not Drifty, or I do appreciate Drifty, but Drifty's not one of the people that was saying those comments on Diaz, but they are critical of Diaz. And even Cody. Cody was a player last year again. When it came to Cody, it was
Ryan. Him and Ryan got loads of stick.
Yeah, they got to the point. Like I said earlier, there was a content creator out there that was trying to say it was because he's a Dutch player, and this is the reason why we weren't getting results, and that the Dutch don't correlate to being good players in the Premier. I was just like, where are you going with this, man? That is wild. And then like,
there are examples of them not working, but like, you know, there's loads that do as well, alternatively, isn't there?
Right. And then there was also someone out there again, and I only mentioned my Coppish brothers only because we can have conversations, and I don't mind having conversations with them, because I have had conversations with them, and they allow for me to be on air on their channel, on their platform, and have a debate. And we've gone and we have had discussions. So that I appreciate. That's why I give them mad respect and appreciation. Yeah, there's Curtis Jones again, like, is a player that one of the fans out there again said that the only reason why Curtis Jones is on this team is because he's a Scouser.
No, I remember that nonsense was getting said a lot about 2.5 seasons.
Lee's a Scouser. Why isn't Lee playing?
Yeah, exactly.
I've got my kit on ready, haven't I?
Yeah, I know. He's already got he's had his kit on. He probably still has that kit in his closet.
Sure,
he's ready to go, people. He's ready to go.
You would do it for, you wouldn't charge us any more than $5,000 a week, Lee, would you? You'd be all right. You'd save us a few quid.
I'd pay for the pleasure. I'd pay to play for Liverpool. I haven't got a lot of money, but I'd pay to play for Liverpool.
I just think it's funny how, like, some people.
Well, the thing is, look, but you also have to. I keep being the devil's. I also have to say, like, there is also option. Like, there's people that were talking shite, and then there was people that were talking about someone who wasn't very good, and were saying that they weren't great, and then that person improved, and they're like, good, he's improved. That's the other normal kind of stream of people that are usually out there. Not everybody was amazing. Sure. It's like, oh, that guy, he's not great. He got better. Cool. I hoped he would improve, but then you get the militant types. The people that go nuts on stuff. Like, that guy should have just robbed my thing that I've been doing. Like, never buy Italian. It's really easy, and there's loads of it's very provable. You can argue. Yeah. Like, that's fine.
Look, I want Chiesa to do well. I want him to prove me wrong.
But I mean, his whole never buy Dutch thing. There's no legs in that. He can't back that up. Like, I can fight my corner on the never buy Italian thing, because outside of London, under the age of 30, other than certain types of characters, they've never worked. It's I can make that argument all night. You cannot make the same argument for Dutch players. There's far too many Dutch players who have been brilliant in England. Mm-hmm. There's just no legs, or there's no foundation in that argument of they're not good enough or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Take. That was a really wild take. But I mean, again, it was during the period when it was because, Cody was getting moved around in all these different positions or different on the pitch. And they're saying it was more of a deficit than a positive for him to be, to have the ability to do so, or for all these Dutch players to be so versatile. They're over versatile to the point where they don't have a solidified role. They're just a player that they're a jack of all trades, but a master of none, basically, is what he was trying to say.
Yeah, well, see, that is possibly. I'd love to get this guy in a stream. I'll get him on my show, but I know I would just utterly destroy this madness he's talking about. But one thing I don't like Lee knows I don't like a lot of. Sometimes I hate modern words. Obviously, grumpy old me. But one word I do really love, and I think sums up a lot of these people, is projecting.
Yeah.
I think projecting is a great word, and when
I definitely think they're projecting. A lot of times, I think they're.
I think the main guy that's projecting here is when Mr. Freaking I Fly Planes over Anfield brag about it. When he called Luis Diaz, when he called Luis Diaz what he called him as a human piece of thing, that is one of the biggest pieces of projecting I've ever seen, because he knows he's a fucking piece of shit. And
but the thing about it is that you know what he's done, and Brian, I'll let you finish too. But what he's done is like what he's done now is rather than address the fact, because he was asked when Diaz had that run of form and was scoring and it was like and playing so well, he was asked. He's like, oh well, I'm not gonna do this. It's only a couple of games and that's all it is. We haven't played anyone. He went as far as to say something like that. And and I'm not going to offer any type of like retraction to my statement and everything else. He's dribble crap. Dribble crap is what he referenced them as being. And what he's done now is he's focused all of his praise. And I'm not saying that this player does not deserve praise, but all of his videos or all of his emphasis are now on Mohamed Salah. So now when asked to talk about the glory and all these and this great form and run and everything else, he doesn't focus on some of the main characters that are a part of it. Obviously, Grava or Lucho or Cody. He doesn't focus on them. He focuses on Salah, and that's all he's been doing, and that's what he talks about, and that's. It's just like deflection. It's like no one's saying that Mohamed Salah has not been really, really, influential in our feats, our feats in being like our matches. No one's saying that he hasn't been a contributing factor in all of them, pretty much, And he's just been doing most Salah things in that he's just getting his goal, getting assists, and the likes. But for you to say, I'm going to focus the spotlight on Mohamed Salah at this very moment, who has always been one of our top superstar players and gets plenty of time center stage, for you to just say, the other guys I've been slagging off, Curtis Jones, he's been slagging off, obviously Diaz, he's slagged off Nunez, he slagged off freaking who else is he slagged off? I said Cody. Like all these different players. I'll end here. I'll end here, Lee.
No, keep going. Keep going.
He's going at all those different players, but now that they should be more focused in getting some of the claims, some of the praises, and getting the accolades of being players that have stepped up their game, if not brought back their game to the forms and levels that they should be at. He still wants to say, no, let's not pay attention there. Let's just focus in on the one player that I'm going to talk about every day and all day. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, inshallah, my bollocks. Do you know? I'm sorry. I don't even want to say. No, I'm sorry. I probably massively offended a load of people there. But inshallah, my bollocks, right? Yeah. This guy all the time coming out. I'm speaking, with peace. I'm speaking, with respect.
No, he doesn't.
All this kind of shit, and he just does not, because he's completely fake. He made a culture. Everybody can make a culture, and he made a culture on his channel. We could make a culture on our channel where it wouldn't get us very far, but we could sit here all night. We could get monetized. We could buy subs, right? We could buy subs tomorrow. You could buy subs, and we could monetize this football, right? Or monetize this channel. So super chats are available, right? We could then ignore everybody in the chat. and only respond to people who were members, super chats, basically people who
Right,
paid
right,
us to
right.
talk. And that will create a culture in that channel. Then we could talk a lot of shit, a lot of crap, get a lot of people involved, and they just ignore everybody in your chat. Ignore every single one of them until someone pays you to say something. And then
Mhm.
that teaches people, that creates a culture in your chat where if you want to get your voice heard, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, pay for it.
This guy he speaks. He's a human jukebox, and it's a jukebox full of bullshit. That's all it is.
Yeah,
He will
and he's
pay.
and
You
that's
pay him, and
yeah. The frustrating
you
thing is
could
he's
put
on so
anything in it.
many platforms, and when people see him, that's what they think of as being a red, and that's what kind of gets under my skin a little bit. Is that like he's the same person that is, you know, demolishing the players that really do, you know, try to bring us the glory and the claim that we want for our team. He's out there doing the best to just, you know, just I'm trying to not curse, but you know, he's doing the best to really take a piss, basically. I don't know how else to put it, like as in he's just really not someone that really understands the fact that one of the
He's
reasons
not a
why
fan of
I'm
Liverpool.
privileged and
He's a fan of money.
appreciative to be able to call myself a Red is
Curtis
because of
Jones is
other
never
Reds that I get to join up with and talk about my team, have disagreements or disagreements on players and the likes, but we do it in a different demeanor. And it's like, and especially with him, he likes to talk about. I feel like he needs a Godfather moment, you know, like Godfather with Sonny, where you don't talk about family business outside of the family type thing, and he has no problem, you know, taking.
No, but yeah, if I pay him $20, he'd talk shit about his own sister. I mean, what are you talking about?
That kind of stuff is like where I just go, yeah, man, that's not cool.
Yeah, Curtis
We're
plays.
talking about YouTube etiquette, you know. We're talking about etiquette. You know?
Like he's never once gotten near the team by virtue of being from Liverpool. It's because he's a good player. I think that just comes in general from some parts of the fan base. I don't know if it's him specifically, but other people have said that. Like we've seen that quite a lot. About 2.5 seasons ago, 30 months ago, it was rife that like he wasn't good. He's only in the team because he's from Liverpool. You don't see it as much now, like, but it pissed me off at the time. Like
it should. That's like I said this. I called it like a DEI thing. Like you should. If someone calls you a DEI hire, means like you're someone that's a diversity, equality. I think something. It's like basically an effort to diversify the work base, and you're trying to bring in people. You're bringing in people that will obviously diversify the work group. And that has benefits, but I mean, if anything, what I'm trying to get across is that those people are still quality. They're still good enough to make the job. They're still good enough to get these gigs, you know. And I think Curtis Jones is a player that, if he was a Scouser or wasn't a Scouser, he's a good enough player that he is making a real solid shout to be a Red, to be considered a starter for this Reds team. And I appreciate the fact, and the fact that he is a Scouser, personally, and I'm not from Liverpool like that, but it does give me a little bit more like a pride to say I'm glad to see that someone from the, you know, the grounds of Liverpool is making a real solid shout to say I deserve to be here. And I think that's fantastic. It should bring some real you know, pride and in your
he was able to pay the under 21s not long ago for England. I remember him against Spain. I think we beat them in the semi-final in the under 21s, and he was excellent. Like I can't remember which one of their midfielders it was, but he took him on a few too many times, and he just got shot down for showing off. But it was brilliant. Like it was an excellent bit of play.
Yeah, it's honest. I just think of it like I'm glad to see that you know, it's important. I know that we're talking about Trent earlier. I mean, he's a Scouser as well, and he's a world renowned representation of the city, and born and raised. And it's one of those cases where, like, yeah, you are going to have when you have the privilege of having a player like that, and he represents you and he represents your city, and the way that he does, it does resonate. It does resonate, plain and simple. It just does. I mean, it's kind of wild. Kobe Bryant is from Philadelphia, for instance, Philadelphia area, and when he went to LA, he kind of like stuck his nose up to Philadelphians and people that follow Philadelphia sports. And it was so bad that when he returned, it was All-Star game. He was in that All-Star game. It was in Philadelphia, and he got booed by Philadelphians. There's some real relevance when it comes to appreciating your own, and also in the sense of like the players that definitely represent you in every walk. And that's something I'm proud to see Curtis does, and I'm proud to see that Trent does, and I'm proud to see that there's others that aren't even from Liverpool but have taken Liverpool to heart, as in making it their own. And that's beautiful in itself too, in my opinion. I appreciate those that say those kinds of things, that talk about Liverpool in such a beautiful light, in such a beautiful way of saying how much it means to them that they're able to represent the city. That makes a real mark for me, at least. And that's the reason why I love this club, because it emulates that heritage, emulates that kind of connection with players. And I think that's important.
Do you remember his first goal, the Derby goal? Curtis's first goal, the Derby goal that he bends in from the edge of the box.
Oh yeah, that was huge. Probably one of those biggest goals in his career, certainly.
Yeah, to come in a derby, to score a goal like that in a derby was special.
Yeah.
So Curtis,
tough, wasn't it? Because he hadn't played much in the league. In fact, I don't think he had played in the league before that. It was before he played in the league. He got that FA Cup goal, and then he got in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look. Again, I know I went on a little bit of a rant. I started digging. I started digging the hole that I like, and I was on some Undertaker's settings, I guess. But yeah, if there's something that gets me a little bit like proud, is that like when I do meet other Liverpool fans, I'm happy to see that we have a connection, and that we have a pride that is very much carried, whether you're from Liverpool like Lee, or whether you're from Ireland, whether you're from America, whether you're from wherever we are in the world. It really resonates, the fact of like we're proud to be associated with a club that has a beautiful history and has something of it's not a bought history. It's one that is worked hard, and it definitely emulates the people of Liverpool, in my opinion.
One of my favourite goals of recent years was Trent to Curtis. Curtis finished it nice and casually on his left foot against Spurs. Do you remember that one at Anfield? It was about, I don't know, it was a little way back, but not too far. That was, for Scousers to cross, it was Scousers to score like that. I like the fact that it was on his left foot as well. It was a stylish finish.
There you go.
He's got that in him, hasn't he, with his left foot? If he just takes it easy, I'll finish this.
So again, you can comment, I guess, towards me if you like. If you have I'm very, as much as I have an open opinion about that. If you differ, then hey, that's your prerogative. But yeah, that's just the way I feel. I'm very, 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 very privileged and proud to call myself a Red, and I'm very, very, very privileged and proud to call you my brethren out there. And that's how I look at it. That's why I do this channel. It's why I believe that it's important to have those kinds of voices on the now almost oversaturated platforms out there that are taking up the spaces. But I think that it is empowering to see someone out there that kind of like believes in these players, believes in this team, believes in the fans, believes in a lot of the different things that often are just mocked and belittled simply for clicks or super chats or
Okay.
the likes, and that's just something that and I'm not saying that from a perspective of because I'm not at that level yet, or I hope that we do get to a level that we can take on them head to head. But I also like to say that I
not
also
with me, not with me here.
Right, I get that, but
I'm going to burn some bridges.
Whatever.
I'm going to burn
I say is
because
of the roots that we have, like yourselves from the chat, like the panel. That's the reason why.
No, I'm not saying we're going to be able to take.
There's always a yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying
we're good. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying we're not going to get. You're not going to get that big with me here because I've just decided. Okay, what we're going to do, not on your channel, because I can be the channel that throws itself on the hand grenade, as it were.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to do maybe on my channel. So you have to go and subscribe to my channel, right?
Right.
I'm going to do the top 10. We're going to do a top 10 worst LFC YouTubers.
Oh,
okay, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the top 10 worst LFC YouTubers, right? Now, it might take a little bit of time. It won't take that long at all. But it might take, but I'm going to do it. So you don't have to do it here.
Wow.
But so everybody, we're going to do it. I'm going to put together a top 10. Lee is obviously going to be involved, but no. We can all get our options together. But yeah, I'm going to do that. So 12 man. I know he doesn't like that kind of
Are they going to be ranked, or are you just going to just throw?
Oh yes, they're going to be ranked. Oh, they're very much going to be ranked. From yeah. Oh, there'll be a number one. Don't you worry. There will be a number one worst.
Yeah. I am not friends. I have no connection, nor am I friends with Hassam. I do know Mons, and I'm not trying to throw Mons under the bus or anything like that. Mons has some very, very opinionated opinions on some players, most notably like Nunez and Dominic currently. But I do enjoy trying, or at least establishing some type of debate with Mons, who is, again, someone that has a very large platform. So,
yeah, get ready for it, though. You can come in, you can bitch, and you can moan. You can go incognito. You can come in and you can tell everyone who you hate, who you don't like, why you don't like them. You don't, it can be up to you. I'm pretending I'm going to make the top 10. I'm not actually. I'm just going to do a stream and everyone can come in and bitch and moan. No, I will do a top 10. But I'm not good at things like graphics and stuff. I can just about go live, so I'll have to get someone to help me do like the thing where you put it up and show stuff like a tier list and things. But yeah, we'll do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do the top 10 worst Liverpool YouTubers, and I've been around a long time and I've been involved with a few channels, so I can talk. I'm not some, I can bring some background to it, but yeah, everyone come in. Find out you don't have to. This is the happy channel. So come over to my channel and bitch and moan and slag everybody off and call and say what you like.
I found it on my phone. I just found it on my phone. The Irishman football. I think I've got the right one.
We're gonna see it. There's gonna be a very interesting list. Certainly so. Very interesting list.
I think we all know who's gonna win.
Well, I guess you guys got a little extra dialogue. But again, we're transparent. We're not trying to be.
No, I've got my kit on ready for the match. Figuratively speaking.
Oh yeah. Oh no. This is the thing.
Years later, I'm still wearing that kit ready for the match.
Yeah.
See, Pops knows. The good guys are going to be on the top 10 because the 10th worst will be a good one. Yeah, let's just put it that way. Top, like number 10 in the worst would probably, it would be a bit of fun. It's not going to be hate,
Yeah, it's not hate.
So the number 10 is just like, we can have poke a bit of fun at people, what we don't like about them. So,
yeah.
But the number 1, 2, 3, I think there might be.
This is going to be interesting, I'm sure. I mean, like, look, there's those amongst us that don't have, those amongst us that have, 2, 3, 4 different teams that they follow sometimes in the same league.
It's hard to keep
So,
up with these guys. How do they
it's hard to decide.
How do they follow all these results every weekend? They've got a team playing here, a team playing there.
Yeah.
No, I
Because
get
isn't
watching loads of other teams, but as a dispassionate observer, you know what I mean? You don't care what score it is, but you like watching a certain team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they're all getting
absolutely.
to a certain age now where they're actually complaining about the fact that their kids don't support a team that isn't Liverpool like it matters. I mean, it's
That's
bizarre.
wild. Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah,
Normally, that's
right.
how it was. Like what was the team you support? Well, the team that
my dad told me to support.
Yeah, the team that my dad or my parents told me,
or your older brother, or
that we
whoever
support,
it was.
and that's that,
Yeah.
and that's that. But nowadays it's like
You got kids looking up FIFA stats, and then their dad's arguing about it on YouTube. It's like
yeah.
showing more disappointment in their son's choice. Let's just put it this way: Liverpool fans, not from Liverpool, showing more disappointment about their son's choice in Spanish team, i.e., either Real Madrid or Barcelona, than they did about the weekend's poor result.
There you go.
There we go.
Well, if anything, there is something. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, that was just me, Shannon. They all know who they are, and you're going to be on the list. You're going to be on the list.
There you go.
There you go.
It's a new thing,
this
isn't
is
it?
definitely going to be a viral moment, I'm sure. I know my rant is going to be probably clipped by somebody, but all right.
I do remember when I was a kid, I had one mate, and he'd change who he was supporting from one year to the next. Whoever won the league, Liverpool or Everton.
Oh my goodness!
It was them years where either Liverpool or Everton won the league for like loads of years running, only us two, and he was known to change his allegiances from Liverpool to Everton and back when someone different won the league.
You almost have to admire
the 80s were a crazy decade.
The front of that. You actually have to admire the fucking front of somebody. To be
in his defense, we were only like 7 or 8 years old or something, like, in his defense, but it was cringe-worthy, like, I remembered it anyway.
I blame the parents. There you go. Right? No, this is the end of the show for right now, but I thought I had it better put in there. Let me see if I can't get it to where hopefully but I was just going to say let me see if I can get this correct in there for you. This is the tune that we are now starting to hear a little bit more at Anfield. It was pretty wild to hear the song being sung, to be honest with you, because you can see how some of the players were reacting to it. They showed not only Lucho, but they showed Ibu reacting to the song being sung, and he was like, "That's right, like give a shout to this guy. He's putting in some work, So let's see if it comes out better this way. Nope, still same thing, but trying to get it so you can see the words. But his name is Lucho is definitely a song that's going to be one that you hopefully will hear a little bit more. And I guess next on the list, I don't know. Is there a Cody Hackbo song yet? Is Cody got his own song yet? I don't know if he has.
Oh,
I know they all do in one way or another, but
as I imagine it's along the line. His name. Maybe the
I don't know, Max. When do you want the show? We can't do it in the morning. Too much prep. I can't do it in the morning. Then that's Saturday. That's game day. Sunday is Sunday. When do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
When do you want to hear it? When do you want to do it? I don't know. Sunday? Do it Sunday. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know if I do want to hear.
You want to know where you're going to be on the list. You want to know where you're going to be on the list is the main thing. Sunday. What's yes? Monday. Yes. Sunday. Monday.
Whatever you're. we're coming up
No,
after.
'cause
I guess. I mean, we are coming
Yeah.
up on international break, so we'll be plenty of
Yeah.
time to put in some content in there.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'll do it
and-
on Sunday or Monday. Watch out for it. I mean, we'll look out for it.
I would like to know if there anyone knows if Cody has a song, please do tell me. I have not seen one for him just yet. So
I
was
don't
just
think he has a
wondering.
dedicated proper type song. No,
Mhm.
no, not yet.
If the Max, it depends on who you're talking to, by the way. Oh, there you go. It depends on who you're talking to. But yeah, I definitely would like to see him get his song soon. I'm sure they're working on it right now if they haven't come up with it already. But we do know again that our Lucho has a song of his own now that is actually a pretty good song too. I actually do like it. It's a cool song. And it can
I
pick
think
up.
it's okay. Yeah, I think it's quite good. There as one. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're better ones, but it's good. It's distinctive. It's its own.
Mm-hmm. It's sung to Bella Ciao, which is an Italian song. It's an anti-fascist.
They could take an old one. Like normally, what they do, like they're kind of in the like not stuck for one. Like with a Cody one, they could just take an older song that you could switch out the name a bit. Or,
Oh yeah.
You know, so I'm surprised he hasn't got.
Like I was like
bit,
iffy on the Jurgen one that they came up with because it was just.
Oh, I hate that one. Oh no, I hate that. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Like, there's so many Beatles songs that you probably could have chosen, but
no, and the way
if you had to
everyone
choose
went,
a Beatles song, but
no, the way everyone went so overboard on that, I think they were like, "Oh, we made something fit, so it's brilliant, and it's a Beatles song." It's like, yeah,
You mean
you
that
made
Life
it
is
fit.
Life one for Klopp?
No,
Is that what you're talking about?
I'm in love with you.
I'm in
love with
yeah.
her, and I feel fine. That's the song from the Beatles, but
yeah, it's the I feel fine one. It's like, it's just the line that I'm in love with him and I feel fine was just too cringe for me. It was just like, it worked really well with the tune and the words, but they should have just rewritten that line, which could have been easily done. I just thought it was like a step too far down the. Yeah, I just hated that song. I really fucking did, man. I really just because of that one line. And hey, look, no, it's not to do with that. Anyone knows me knows I have no issues with anything like that. But line on its own, just like, oh, I just hated it. Just stuck in the mind of it.
Does Curtis Jones have a song?
Nope.
He doesn't have a song yet, right?
Sorry, no, he does. It's Release It, CJ. Release It, CJ. It's just that on repeat with a trap.
Release yourself.
Release it, CJ. Release it, CJ. With a trap beat over and over. That's all it is. Yeah. Release it, CJ. Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to see. I don't know. I know there's a long list of players. Once you get your own song, you definitely have taken your mantle with the crowd and with the audience, with the fans. It's a good one.
If you get your own, like say Nunes, like everyone goes Nunes, like that's cool, but it's not your own song,
right? That's
that's not even goes away and writes
that's
some
lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. It's a chant. It's not a song. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. It's just a chant. When somebody goes right and sits down and writes down words to make them fit your life story and shit, it's like, okay, yeah. The Luis Garcia, he drinks sangria. That was class. They were great. Written for the players. It was like, oh, they're singing literally about me, like not just a chant, random thing. They're written in words for stuff like that's why Luis Garcia, these people are like, yeah, man, Liverpool's a bit special,
Yeah.
There was a John Barnes one like that I remember specifically from when I was a kid. Like it was brilliant. I can't remember the fella who wrote it, but I've seen it on LFC TV about this. But he's dead now. This fella used to go anyway to all the matches. But he wrote a brilliant one about John Barnes, like, and his ability to evade defenders. It went on for ages and it was that good.
Guys,
That's another one. Actually, Mo doesn't even have a huge kind of thing, does he?
He has.
It's the culture.
Well,
it's the
yeah.
culture.
It's not a song. It's a chant.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like it's.
Yeah,
the
I don't think it's a
culture
song. It's a
that
chant.
gets, the songs more than anything else. Or I think that's the kind of vibe. It's the
He's
culture.
running down the wing, but when John Barnes was running down the wing in his song, it was sort of like
like you're saying, there's
talking
like
about
15 different
defenders
verses
specifically
and
being taken
Yeah.
for a ride.
Okay.
No name defenders. It was just. I can't remember it. I'd find it very hard to try and remember it. I've seen it, but it was a really good one.
Michael Owen. There's another Michael Owen.
No, I never heard this one. They say that like I haven't heard them sing this song. I wish Norm or some of I don't know if some of the people in the chat are those that go to the games, but and have the ability to hear some of the chants that they do make. But apparently Curtis Jones has a song based on "There She Goes" by the English rock band The Lost.
Yeah,
okay.
Classic tune.
I haven't heard them sing that one.
No, I haven't yet. I didn't know.
I can if basically the lyric is "There she goes" and you change it to Curtis Jones and you sing the melody, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'll put yeah.
Anyone that knows the song will know the melody to "There She Goes." You make that Curtis Jones.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Jones again. Yeah, it works.
Bend my ear for that one to make sure I hear it.
This is what apparently it is like. Curtis Jones. I don't know the song, the tune, so I can't. It was 1988 when the song came out.
You know it, man.
Curtis,
as soon as you hear it, you'll know it. No, everybody knows that song, even in the States. Yeah, as soon as you hear it, you'll be like, "Oh,
wait, is it There She? What the one that There She Goes Again? That song?
Yeah,
that's by the Lost. Yeah. Everyone knows. As soon as you've heard it, you'll be like, "Ah, I know."
It's not by the Lost. I didn't know that was by the Lost.
Yeah.
I got
John
you.
Power.
So Curtis Jones can play.
These are the
racing through my brain, and I just can't contain how Curtis plays the game.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's
really good album.
That tracks. It tracks. As long as it tracks.
It tracks. It tracks.
If it doesn't track,
all right.
As long as you can sing it, stick to the melody. It's a very well-known song. That's a classic football chant. A melody everybody knows. Change it a little bit. Insert Curtis Jones instead of "There She Goes."
And then you just insert name, and there you go.
Yep. Yeah. Away you go.
All right. Good song. Red Armchair Supporter says, okay, got you. I'll have to definitely tone up my vocals to be able to chant out that one. But again, people, I would like to say thank you for joining us today. If you haven't subscribed to the Irishman's channel, there it is on the screen. It's been up there for the entire time. So hopefully you got to see it. If not, I don't think also, by the way, if you are doing it, you don't have to put in all the extra, question mark, SI, the equals, and all the extra stuff. I think you can still find it if you just put youtube.com/ @the Irishman Football, and it should.
Me?
It should, yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm just copy and pasting. Sorry. Yeah. I'm just
right. I'm just saying that if you do. You can find people's you can find people's addresses that way too. So as long as you have the youtube.com/ @the Irishman Football, it should go to his page, just so everyone knows. But
so don't forget that's the 10 worst Liverpool YouTubers. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it over there. So come in.
You're gonna do it and get
your opinions
down and dirty. With some of the names are going to be put onto that list. So I'm sure we'll all be looking forward to seeing that.
When you doing it? What day are you doing it on?
Well, I literally thought of about half an hour ago, and I'm really bad at doing that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Well, you can announce it again tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get like pictures together and work out how to do tier lists and all that kind of thing, how you show them.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that thing, where you put up other stuff on the screen.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. I don't want to do it the first time while doing that. But yeah.
So
I'll do it before the end of the weekend. So everybody get your Max is Max is revved up. Max, you can call in, man.
Yeah,
Max,
there you go. There you go.
I'll put the link in the chat. So I'll probably put like maybe something like 12 or 13 people, and I'll have my top or my 3, and then we'll let everybody else pick, you know, who makes up the top 10. So there'll be some people that don't get in, so they'll be good YouTubers basically. So we can use a bit of that. So yeah, we can make something like that if there's enough people in. You know, I'm being presumptuous that there'll be enough people there, but yeah, we'll do it anyway. I'll get JK involved. I'll get Nalante involved. So yeah, probably do it the weekend because that would be easier to get people during the daytime. Actually, yeah. So I'll probably try and do it on Sunday afternoon.
Will we get a bonus round, like sort of
yes,
rubbish?
Yeah, have whatever you want, mate.
Rubbish YouTube football, football thingies from other clubs, or are they all going to be Liverpool? Will we get a bonus round at the end?
You can do
get a bonus round for like
but it'll be all
Bridge or something like that in there, or something like that.
Yeah,
I just want to piss people off.
Yeah.
I just want to piss people off and like put up some. I'll put up Hussam on the thumbnail and Craig and I don't know, fucking Barnes and Densman. I'll put them all up in the thumbnail. And there you go.
Wow, shots fired.
Yeah, I'll show you how to get it. I'll show you what a thumbnail looks like. I'll show you what a thumbnail looks like. Yeah.
Okay. But big up to each and every one of you for joining us in the chat, whether you are just joining us right now or if you are been there since we opened up the show. Wherever you are joining us, whether it's on the replay, whether it is live again. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. And again, if you didn't hear from the rant, I definitely appreciate and humbly am honored to call you brethren and fellow Reds out there. So and those that aren't Reds, cool. But no, just joking. Big up to all you guys too, but especially my Reds, That's just a little banter, just a little fun banter. Big shout out to everyone. And Lee, would you like to give a shout before we end this today's segment and get ready for tomorrow?
Thanks to everyone in chat. Thanks for participating. I'll see you again.
Okay. And Brian, is there anything you'd like to say before we allow for everyone to enjoy the rest of their evening? If not evening, morning, afternoon?
No, just the usual. Thanks for being. We don't get I kind of missed an Nalante outro.
Oh, I know. I didn't have my phone to send on WhatsApp, so I couldn't get my. That's my reason why I didn't send something.
I'm trying to think if we have it as a player that looks like Craig from Anfield Agenda.
Paul Konchesky.
Yeah, Konchesky's a first shout.
Paul Konchesky.
There you
go. We've never had a proper ball like Shelby, but that was weird, but I think Konchesky.
If Ruddock had no hair, what's Ruddock look like these days?
But the thing is,
he was funny. The story with Fowler, where Fowler messed around and cut up a load of his, like the soles of his training shoes, and he chinned Fowler for this tomfoolery. Like the stories about Razor are quite funny. He's quite some.
No, Razor doesn't work. Razor, because maybe should save it for offline. But I've met Craig loads of times. Been in his house, done live streams with him. He's very short. He's very small. He's a very tiny person. He's not Ruddock. He's very, very tiny, and he's bald. He's about 5'8", maybe. I don't know. I'm 6'1". He's a lot shorter than me. So he doesn't track for Ruddock at all. He's more of a white N'Golo Kante. If that isn't racist, I'm not sure if it is, but basically, he's a white N'Golo Kante.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, think of that. But no, just like I said before, Lee just shot me off on a sidetrack there. Thanks for being. Thanks to everyone. Thanks. That's what we're going. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you all again tomorrow.
Sounds good. We're gonna do a
What's you
preview
reckon
tomorrow.
Andrea Zasina as a lookalike for Craig? Like in stature then? Andrea Zasina, the left back.
I was just gonna say we're gonna do a preview tomorrow for the game, and we'll be doing a roll call for the game as well. I don't know if we're gonna do. I don't know if we have to or not. We might be able to do a actual watch along this weekend, but we'll talk about it before we do it. So, but all the same, I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope to see you tomorrow. And as always, to all my fellow Reds out there, up the Reds, people, up the Reds, as always.
Unless you're on the list.
Be safe out there, and continue to always have hope. Definitely. And we'll talk to you soon tomorrow. Okay. Take care, guys.